From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Here comes the music and the hilarity of another installment of the show. It's show 362. It's a Tuesday night. It's the 9th of October. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are in Studio C as we are each and every Tuesday night, sitting alongside Kat Carlson. Marnie Ryer just snuck into the kitchen. And sitting next to me, guest villainous. I guess now he's guest star.
Special guest star.
Like he's Heather Locklear or something. Doug Wilkie is here. Al Perkins has the night off. He's traveling in northern Arizona.
Yes, he is.
Very busy. I
Now,
know.
he was going to send...
Grand Canyon.
The Grand
Yes.
Canyon. He was going to send
The Grand Canyon, Christina.
Yes. It's a Grand Torino. He was
so
gonna,
glad you know that
he was
story.
gonna, yes, I do. He was going to send me an audio file, like Marnie,
Yeah.
Marnie did.
Right.
He didn't manage to get that done, but I'll tell you what, I'm not surprised. Anywho,
I am shocked.
I am stunned that Al Perkins didn't get that done,
Just
but it doesn't really
beside
matter. Oh, my mom, Doug, did you read that?
Oh, wait, what?
You're a guest
I'm
star.
a special guest star. What is-
Unfortunately for Doug, I think you've been on the show enough times now to just be also starring.
also,
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think I
'cause it's
like
not, it's not
that.
a cameo. I think you're a recurring character now. I think you're
thank you,
at the end of the
Kat.
credits also starring.
Also starring. That's
Yeah.
I
right.
like that.
Now-
I like that a lot.
And also, you could just like MSNBC says, contributing commentator.
yeah, I love that.
You could just be
I
that.
lo- I-
but
that
I
I
like
love
the
that.
also
Unpaid
starring.
contributor.
Well, and Kat, you know what I love about
Sure.
that too? You know when you're watching, they do it sometimes on TV shows, but they do it a lot in movies when it's like it's the famous person, but they're not starring. So you see everybody, and then it says, and
Right.
Nicole Kidman,
Right.
Right.
something like that.
Or it'll be and Nicole Kidman
Yeah.
as Margaret. Or
yeah.
whatever
Right.
the character's name
I
is.
should be as Al Perkins.
Right. But like everybody else just gets
Yeah.
their name.
Right.
But they'll get their name and their
That's
character
exactly
name.
right.
Yes.
Very dramatic.
Yes. And Betty White
Yeah.
as Rose Nyland. Fuck B. Arthur and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
else.
Fuck them.
Betty White as Rose Nyland. By the way, my mother last night I had a lovely dinner with Mom, lovely conversation. Of course, I always have fun reminiscing and talking with Mom. She bought Diet Coke for me and sent it home because she doesn't drink.
helpful.
The only quote soda she drinks is she likes ginger ale here and there. But she bought Diet Coke, forgetting that I had changed to 7 years ago with my Crown.
Sure.
Crown at 7. So tonight I'm enjoying a Crown and Diet. I feel like it's a flashback.
It is. You're having a
Little
flashback.
Do you feel
flashback.
younger?
He will after about two
Well,
more of
because
those.
it was many years ago that this happened. I thought maybe you feel a
But
little
I'm
younger.
also drinking it, and you'll understand
Yes.
this. This
Yes.
is a Winks Long Island
Oh
glass.
my
my
gosh.
God, my
These are-
favorite drink there.
I have 2 of these, and I have a few of
Oh,
the shorter
wow.
rocks glasses.
We should
But
make Long Island.
This is the Winks, and if you look at the see all the scratches around the top of
Oh,
that.
yes.
That was because back in the day they washed all the glasses with a Scotch Brite pad
You can totally see
to
my
it.
get the
gosh.
lipstick off of everything because every
Because
queen
that
in town.
lipstick is hard to get off.
Oh my God!
Especially the
You know,
waterproof
you
kind.
know
I do
that.
know.
The
I
waterproof.
go on a weekly tirade about it as I
Oh my gosh!
discard
Anyhow,
28 glasses for
I don't know
chapstick and
what
lipstick.
beverage everybody else is enjoying out there in Radio Land or Web Radio Land, but I'm enjoying a Crown and Diet. Doug has wine. I saw you had
Not, I,
something.
I have to go get a glass
What did you
of wine,
bring
but
though? What did you bring?
Pinot Grigio.
Okay, you promoting any name or anything special?
Ruffino.
Ruffino. All right.
Italian.
Got it. And you're doing a beer at this point.
I am.
Got an
I am.
IPA going. And who knows what Marnie's going to bring? And I don't know.
17 cups of coffee. And one of those cups is just milk.
True that. She keeps Starbucks in business. Just her.
Yeah,
Just her.
they're so grateful. They have a great college program.
Maybe one
They
day
do.
she'll go to
Tuition
college.
reimbursement.
A friend of mine just was given his own store. He
Oh, yeah?
Actually, you know him. You know God, well,
I'm certain I do.
You do Landon. Like whatever his performer name, Chris. I forget
Sure,
his.
I don't know.
Landon.
I sometimes can't match the real person to the performer.
True.
Like I have trouble with that sometimes. Going, oh,
But
that's who that is.
Landon worked in retail for many years. He worked for American Outfitters in Fashion Square for many years, and he did something else. But now he trained with and was given his own Starbucks store at 40th Street in Indian School here in town.
Well, good for
But they're
him.
actually about to build a new one because I didn't know it, but that store is like 15,
Wow.
18 years old. So they said they're going to build him a whole new standalone store. And I'm
Wow.
like, well, all right.
That's
Because
very
it does
exciting.
not have a drive-through, and by all means, they need a drive-through.
Oh,
We
yeah.
must have
Yes.
drive-through.
If I can't
at
get my
Starbucks.
crack and a drive-through faster,
right.
I know.
though I never go to
And then
Starbucks.
Now, what they
Those
do
of
need
us
to
who go
start
inside.
doing, though, and Starbucks, if you're listening, you're welcome,
Oh
is
my
you need
gosh.
to have a secondary drive-through line for the mobile ordering. Because that's the only thing stated in my way of never having to get out of my car or interact
Right.
with a person to get coffee.
Right.
Because if I do
It's
the mobile
paid
order,
for?
right, it's paid for, it's ordered correctly, and it's sitting on the counter inside.
It's ordered correctly. Is it made correctly?
I don't give a shit. I drink. Honest to God, I drink black coffee. If they fuck that
How
up,
can they fuck that up?
Trust me.
Right.
These
put
people,
it in a cup. Although I have walked out of Starbucks with somebody else's coffee
I
more
got
than
that.
once because of that
I got
system.
I got that laugh for the
Yeah.
first time
I
ever
finally,
last
I
week.
finally started checking for my name.
Got it.
After like the
Yep.
third way too sweet, whatever, sweet,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
gross
whatever
thing.
vanilla mocha choco
Bullshit.
bullshit. Yeah.
Get you, yeah. Is this a lady
Exactly.
marmalade? What am I drinking? What am I drinking here?
But yeah, if they were to build a secondary drive-through only for that mobile order,
I think you could be
you
onto
could just
something.
pull up, tell them my name, and drive away. That's where it's
Yeah.
at. That's where it's at.
It takes some extra real estate. They're probably not going to get there. I just don't feel it.
McDonald's can have 2 lanes. Why
They
can't
do.
Starbucks?
Oh, by the by, they're remodeling the tragic.
I saw
call
that.
it the
The
crack.
the
well, it's,
tragic one.
it's right next to Crack Fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I call it Crack
There's
McDonald's.
so many problems with that parking lot. Right?
That whole area.
I won't even go
There-
anymore.
you shouldn't.
It's been over 12 months since I've
Been
set
to the,
foot,
do you
but
go to Single Girl Safeway?
I do.
Okay.
And
I
go.
do
I just go
occasionally.
to the fries at 16th and or 20th and Highland.
I don't know why I don't go to that one.
It's great.
Because it's fully, it's
It's
huge and
huge.
remodeled.
It's good neighborhood.
Yeah, true it is. True that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. for
Seems
some reason I don't go-
win-win-win to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, and I go to the new Sprouts across from the single.
I have
Girl
not been to
Safeway.
the new Sprouts yet.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't buy enough there that
Now,
for my
Listeners at home,
everything.
feel free to send
Yeah.
us a message.
now
Where do
I'm
you
going to
shop?
guess. Now, yeah, please. This is stimulating for all of you.
And is it a crack parking lot where you shop?
Do you feel that the now this is going to sound uppity?
Well, that's all right.
I don't. It's not a racist comment. It's just an uppity comment.
Guess
The,
Cat can't do it
the,
tonight.
the caliber of the people that go to Sprouts,
Yes.
higher caliber.
Yes.
No crack. Not much crack over there.
Higher, but no, it's higher for sure. That we'll call it SES.
Are they
the
higher?
socioeconomic status. If I was in class, I would say the SES is
Okay.
higher.
Ooh,
sometimes what goes with that is a little bit of that douchey kind of
Oh,
hipster,
like people who work
So-
at Fox
and,
News.
And sometimes they're worse than the
local.
drug addicts.
I mean, local Fox News.
Yeah, no, it's
He doesn't
definitely
listen.
it's
He doesn't
definitely
listen.
that higher, kind of.
Yeah.
group.
Okay. I don't know.
But
what
it's really nice and it's just beautiful because it's so brand new and
it is. Like
you know,
4 weeks, not even 4 weeks old.
they really did a really nice job on it.
Do you when you separate your M&Ms? Because I just did.
Yeah, I don't.
Look how many oranges there are. Look at all
Oh
these.
my God, that's like an experiment.
Look at this. There's so many more oranges. Look at that. I don't know what's
Do
going
you
on.
think that's just random?
Give me take a picture. We're gonna.
Is that a random experience?
This is 2 fun-sized packs separated out. And I don't know.
Trump did it.
Oh,
Thanks,
rats.
Obama.
Are you gonna join
was
the
Susan
show, or are
Collins.
you just gonna be in the kitchen all night? Marnie's gonna just do her show from the kitchen tonight.
Do we still have
She
the
said.
Do we still have the kitchen cam? Can we just turn that on?
No, I need to. We have to do that. Send me that. She's gonna send me the picture.
It's
I'm gonna show you my
happening
M&Ms. It's very
Happening
exciting.
now.
Oh my God.
This is the best opening we've ever
So
had.
yeah, and this is
Honest to
this
God,
is
grocery shopping and M&M counting.
It's fantastic.
this is almost sober.
yeah.
But you have.
I'm stone cold.
I'm only halfway.
she's
I haven't had
halfway,
one. I haven't.
I'm halfway
I haven't
through
had
this.
one sip.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
hurry up, Doug. What the fuck are you doing?
I'll wait for for them to get her to get here, and then I'll
All
let
right.
them to start.
Well, she's here. She's just running around. I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's Marnie. See? oh God! Wait, where's the photo? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Thank God you sent this.
You're welcome.
Same.
Yeah, well, because the watchers at home,
Yeah, the watchers, the people who are
our viewers,
Our viewers.
as just a podcast, this sucks. But for if you're viewing this, this is amazing.
can't imagine why more people don't
And when
listen.
I listen back, okay, so this is the picture. So these are my M&Ms all sorted out. But look how screwed over you get. I mean, I
Actually, the green ones.
don't know. And that last blue one there looks kind of like a Pac-Man. He got a little bit out
Yeah.
of it. So that's what the 2 fun-size Halloween packs of M&Ms, regular M&Ms,
disproportionately orange.
completely disproportionate.
I blame Trump.
Marnie may be onto something.
No.
She's still talking in there.
Orange M&Ms, orange president. You
Yeah.
do the math.
Okay. So, we're going to get back to her. We're going to go live to Marnie in the kitchen just a little bit later. Meanwhile, Kat Carlson,
It's gonna be super fun.
what you been doing since we last seen you?
Making shirts.
God, I know. Oh, in fact, you keep talking. I'm gonna
so
pull up a picture from you.
many shirts.
Many shirts.
But other than that, I did on Sunday went to see the musical Waitress.
I did see your
Oh,
check-in.
yeah, I
Had
saw
a,
your
I had
post.
a lovely time and then had dinner afterwards at a place that did not serve pie because they are
Right.
So earlier in the week, I think it was Al that commented that he should have eaten before going to the show because all they do is fucking talk about pie and he was
Right.
like starving by intermission. He's not wrong. Honest to God, like some quiet place in the second act, all of a sudden my stomach literally began growling, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of loud. Sorry, neighbors.
Sorry there.
Apparently, I'm hungry.
Now this picture. Now you're going to explain this to us. This is you're making the shirts for our AIDS Walk team.
Correct. Barbara Seville's Wonderful 100. We've talked about it for years and years now on the podcast because we all do it every year. Because I'm pretty sure because Barbara makes us.
That's what we do.
Yeah, but it's what we do, and so I was chosen to produce the shirts this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even all of them. That's about
How many did you-
2/3 of the shirts.
How many did you do today alone? Do you?
I forgot to add it all up.
Oh, because
I
you
did-
all day you did this.
It's 10, 20, 30. That makes 85. I did 110 shirts today.
Wow.
Plus, there's a couple of purple ones down there on the end. I did another job of 20 ahead of that. So
Okay, so those purple ones aren't.
Yeah.
I thought maybe those were for our team leaders or something
no,
else.
no. That's somebody else's job.
And
I
I'd
just
like
stacked
to,
right on
and a
top.
personal shout out, thank you. And if you did it or if Barbara did it, but Mom, because I know you need a shirt. You've given me my shirts and they're
Yes.
V-necks.
Yeah.
And I totally appreciate that, Mom. So I've got our shirts. We're ready
No,
to
I didn't
go.
tell anybody about that. I just did that.
You just did it.
Yeah.
God, look at
You're welcome.
You're a giver. God.
I make things happen.
Take care of you. You take care
I'm
of
a
me.
doer
Look
and
how
a
we
shaker.
do. It's a lovely
I love your
thing.
shirt.
Yeah, we 1849. We out.
Got to go.
Marnie's wearing a Harriet Tubman shirt tonight for the Underground Railroad, which
Okay.
I can't prove we don't have here
She's
in
been
Phoenix.
making
so-
shirts. I've been digging tunnels. That's
Oh.
we're out.
Oh,
Similar emotion. My shoulders.
I
kinda
know,
hurt.
right?
Yeah.
Like right here.
There's that. I guess I could take a picture of the shirts down. I'm terribly sorry. Marnie has walked into the studio. She said,
Oh,
Marnie,
there
lean
she
back
is.
and show the we're out portion. Look at that. We're out.
We out.
We
got
out.
to go.
We out. Harriet Tubman. So making shirts, running the empire, and then the bar is on the. Just that's their side hustle.
Right.
Yeah.
Soon. My gosh, maybe soon.
Right.
I know. I was talking to a customer the other day, and they said they were, talking to Jeffrey at the bar and asked how my shirt business was going. Asked Jeffrey, well, how's Kat doing with the T-shirts? And Jeffrey says, I hope terrible.
Oh, but that's really nice, dude, because
right.
he
It's
thinks so
very
much
sweet
of
because
you.
he doesn't want me
Right.
to leave.
Right.
Sure.
I think you can manage both. I think you'll be able to do both.
Yeah, for quite some time.
I mean-
I've said many times this year that I've got 10 more years in the bar. The end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
smart.
recall you saying that, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in here, but maybe to everybody else you said
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm,
keep it
I'm
clear.
turning 40 this year, so by the time I turn 50, I gotta be done. I gotta be done
Sure.
playing in the bar.
I hear it.
No.
And you sure as hell don't want to own
I
one.
saw those in the
No,
fridge. I'm like,
I've
oh,
really
that's
decided I don't want to own one.
No, God, no. Don't want to own a bar.
Many
I was like,
struggles.
oh my God.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound as fun as it
Even
used to
as,
sound.
even working in the bar, well, I mean, we all have, except Doug. We all have worked in the bars for a long time. I mean, obviously, Marnie and Alan. Well, no, I'm sorry. Okay, you worked in
a long time ago.
You worked in food and beverage,
for 13 years.
but not in just purely the gay bar world. Like,
About 6 weeks at BS West.
He's like, oh, nay.
oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And that really is.
I was
an
a special guest star at BS West.
It's a pattern.
He was also starring.
I was
Also
also
star-
starring.
right.
Wait, how does the contributor go again? What's it called?
What?
An unpaid
No,
contributor.
unpaid contributor. What is it? What, you said on MSNBC because I love their
a
job.
contributing commentator.
Contributing
Yes.
commentator.
That's what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's what they call it or not, but
Okay.
Well,
That's
it'll
what
work
we're
for us.
calling it.
Yeah.
Sure,
among
we
other
call it anything.
But no,
love.
even being like as long as I was the DJ or whatever I did, and and how I'm involved now, I see all of it, and I'm like,
Happy to see.
no. I'm happy to be kind of just part of the mix, but I don't want to
Part
have.
of the
Yeah.
I
milieu.
don't think I want to have blood in the game.
right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Boy.
No, and if maybe a few years ago when I really thought that I wanted to own a bar, I had
Yeah.
that would
I
have
hear
been
you.
that would have been great. But I feel like now I just know too much.
Uh-huh. When
When I was still like naive and like kind of glossy eyed about it and like, oh fuck yeah, this would be great, and I would do this and I would do that, like, and could have dived in like
Sure.
head first and blindly like that, like I do every other project. But now I just know too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, because first of all, I wouldn't be able to keep staff because I fire all
Oh,
those
yeah,
motherfuckers.
I totally get it.
But I get that.
Who would I trust?
But the
Who
difference.
am I gonna- yeah.
Now the difference would be is if you were similar to your situation where you're managing the bar,
Not
so
really.
so to speak, and then somebody else who owned it and took the risk and then let you run it. That would be a little different because then you can implement ideas and thoughts and yada yada.
I turn
But-
that down all the time because it would ruin my life.
Yeah.
would live.
The expectation
I would live
yeah.
at the bar,
Yep.
and I would not be able to just let
Yep.
go and let things
You have to live, eat,
be
and
screwed
breathe
up. Like
it.
I wouldn't,
no,
I
true.
wouldn't be able to like put my hands up and walk away and be like, "You people deal with it today."
The
Right.
That's a thing you have to do.
Right.
Well, another thing that happens is you were talking about the firing of staff, or you couldn't keep staff. The other interesting thing is how when you let someone go, regardless of the validity of your reason or whatever it is, the repercussions are fun.
Yeah.
They can be because queens are just bitter bitchy people.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Well,
gays
and no
are
matter
fun.
how big the community is, it's real little.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
small.
Real,
I mean,
real
you
small.
realize
Right.
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
big time.
Little
every-
backlash happening.
and everybody
Backlash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and everybody's going to believe what
sure.
what the victim said in that situation. Of,
Until they
of-
get into a fight,
Yeah.
and then they all come back to the bar like, "Oh my God, can you believe?"
Right, something. But they
No,
never,
you're right.
But they
Yeah.
never go to the bar owner and be like,
Right.
"I'm just trying to clear up a rumor. I was curious. Why did blah 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 get
Right.
fired, or why did something happen?" And nobody ever knows that. Now, I'm not saying I know all the answers to all these questions, but it's like
But we're sure gonna ask him after the
No.
show.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're-
I'm intrigued.
the
I like
first
those
dance break we
conversations.
go
That's
into.
right. That's right.
No, but that's it. It's
Inquiring
interesting.
minds.
It's it's just interesting.
Well, but on the
How that
other
all
hand,
works.
I was that victim. What 4
Yeah.
years ago?
Yep.
Oh,
Sure.
almost to the day, like
yeah.
real soon now.
Yeah, I was gonna October 10th.
My no, the 20th. I
Oh, was
think.
it?
Something
Okay.
Like that,
I was
yeah.
thinking it was tomorrow.
But
No, it was a little
as,
later because
as
like,
I
Halloween was.
as
my
I recall that
anniversary date.
situation, it had nothing to do with you doing anything wrong other than being a strong, independent woman. That was it. It wasn't a.
I'm in.
It wasn't a.
We
you were
out.
a
Fire me for it. Fuck
You're
it.
not a shitty bartender. you weren't a sassy, talkbacky kind of employee. Well, I take that back. My bad.
Who are you
I
kidding?
sure am. Yeah,
Thank you.
I
was
sure
like,
am. But I have like 10 minutes worth of explanation about why I'm right when I talk back.
sure.
That's got to count for
Do
something.
you
Something.
think that backlash is a two-way street though?
How do you mean that?
So bartender gets fired. They run around. They tell the secrets that they know. They trash the owner. But if it's a small community,
I didn't start
And they
trashing
wanna-
the owner
I didn't
until
say
like
that.
this year, by the way.
No.
You
No,
waited a good
didn't.
4 years.
I,
That's-
I waited a good 4 years, and now fuck that.
and so if it's a small community, they want to go get hired by the next owner. What if you, as the owner, are good friends with the other bar owners, and then you
Already-
tell them
it's
you tell
already
them the
happened.
other
Yeah.
side of the story, and you're like, this bitch went crazy,
Well,
and so you know what I mean.
I don't. That has already.
So don't
hap-
hire them.
That has already happened.
Yeah.
And all of those scenarios about everybody being friends with everybody else as far as bar owners are concerned. But I don't know
Yeah.
what story was told anywhere or if it was just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I am not passing judgment. If anybody is listening who
I'm not
thinks
either.
they're talking about them,
We're not.
I'm not.
There's nothing cryptic going
There are
on.
enough of all of
Because-
us.
because the way I stand on this is I'm very partial to there is a tolerance level to what you take because of the star tender or the celebrity
Sure.
level of a bartender because of
Sure.
who they bring to your bar,
Sure.
who comes to see them. I mean, I might be a bartender and I might be the shittiest pouring bartender ever, but if people come in to see me, then they're going to come in and spend
oh,
money.
it's a big part of it.
Oh, sure. Your employees are supposed to help you make money.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
It's a balance. Like how
And
much are
on
they
a-
costing me
So
versus
I'm-
how much are they making
And on
me?
a slower,
And when the costing me gets too high, you got to let them
Yeah.
go.
and I would imagine on a slower shift, if that person's popular or they have a theme, like
Yep.
we do this thing or we watch these movies or
right.
whatever, and it brings them in, probably on a busy night, you want good production bartenders that can blast out 100 drink orders, you know.
Well, sometimes it's one and the same
It's
person.
got to be a mix of both, right, Kat?
yeah.
yeah,
I would think.
I think so.
Some bartenders are just slow and steady, and you're
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
But others are, they can do both. They can,
Charm and
right, and then they can just
Produce.
crank out
Yeah.
100 drinks an hour.
yeah.
Sure.
They sing, they act, they dance.
Yeah.
They make perfect julienne fries.
Oh my God. Anywho,
Hi, Nan.
Hi, and
Marnie,
Hi, Mom and Dad.
I know
Hi,
you weren't here,
Clayton.
Marnie. Did you,
Hi,
Marnie?
Joe.
Did you
Hi,
see
Doug.
this, Marnie?
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
you saw.
I heard about it
you
because
heard
what
about
I'm
it, but I
saying
want you to
is,
see
But
it.
we want to
I
know
know.
if you saw
I,
it.
you
I
know,
wanna
I
make sure
did
you-
not see it,
Okay,
but
there
I
you go.
do
I love that
appreciate
picture.
that non-rainbow order.
I didn't plan it. I just was trying to separate
Roy
colors.
G. Biv,
Brown isn't
motherfuckers.
part of
Roy
it.
I'm
G.
just
Biv.
saying.
Red and yellow and pink and green.
I'm just
purple,
saying. I
orange,
think
and blue.
that you know
There's-
that
I can't do a rainbow.
Dick Bag has a hand in that little orange. I want more orange.
See, I told you,
know.
I told you it was Trump.
Yeah.
There's out. All right, we're gonna move
Damn
on
it.
because
Oh,
Kat's
yeah.
been busy making church. Marnie,
Very busy.
is
Hi.
Did you move Mom out yet?
This weekend.
Oh my
Really?
gosh, that's
Coming
fast.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's taking
No,
me
are you
longer to
gonna-
move ex-girlfriends out than it's taking you to move your mom
Yeah.
out.
So are,
Shit, right?
Now,
The one who's been, just constant in my life. I'm like,
no, the question I was wondering about,
Gosh.
being a tried and true lesbian that you
oh,
are,
yes.
are you going to rent a truck,
Subaru.
a U-Haul,
Subaru.
to go from you're loaded up and then drive it 25 feet to the next driveway and back it in?
Yes.
I'm not going to rent one. I'm
I'm
just
gonna
going to
answer for
borrow
it,
one
yes.
from friends.
No.
Nah, come on.
Yeah.
Could you please? Or
No.
and then,
Yeah.
no.
No.
No,
You're
I
just going to
figure that
carry
we can.
stuff next door.
I figure that we can do it fairly easy and over time.
Well,
like
she's
just
right next door.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
You're doing
just
it
to-
like one spoon at a time.
Yeah,
Like, here you go,
exactly.
Mom.
Well, or I'll be like, hey, woman, we're
plate.
testing your dexterity. Boom. Nope, you didn't catch it.
Just
Bam.
throw shit over the fence.
Right. We'll get
Oh
a
my gosh.
conveyor belt.
All that
We're gonna get
Fence-Institute
a
action
conve-
really is
I
gonna-
know, right? It's gonna pay
Come
off.
in handy.
Hey, don't tell anybody about that. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. So anyway, yeah, we went last Saturday and saw Waitress.
Yes. Two of
real,
us. Yeah, us
real
here
good.
have.
Real,
Yeah.
real good.
Everyone
Yeah.
loved it.
Real good. I was
Because it was real good.
well, where we sat was real bad.
Where were you?
And
I didn't know there was
yeah,
a
where
bad
were
seat.
you?
We
There's a
were-
lot of bad seats in that theater.
well, and for this production, apparently, it got worse. Like, we were. For the first, I'm bad with the sections, but like the first
Upstairs, downstairs.
we were downstairs. We were
Okay.
on the main floor,
Orchestra
if you will,
level.
right?
They call that
And-
orchestra.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then maybe halfway back
What was your row
on
number?
the left side. I don't remember.
Damn it.
I don't remember. Like
Like under the mezzanine or in front of it?
We were in front
Under
of it.
the
Okay.
mezzanine.
And
We're
we're and,
having fun under the mezzanine. No?
and we were
I feel
No?
like close.
we were
real
we
close.
were like
Okay.
real close.
two row.
Keep working on
I
that.
feel like Jack and Diet's
Two
working
chairs.
for
It
you.
might be.
We were
might
like
be.
two chairs from the end.
Okay.
So, from the aisle.
real left.
Yeah, and it was
Real,
really
real
bad.
bad.
Like we couldn't hear.
Really?
Probably 3/4 of the first half.
Oh, that's terrible.
Would you like us to reenact it for you?
Nope.
So for the same price, if you
We'll
look
sing
up in
for
the
you.
mezzanine a little bit farther back, you have a better view and better sound.
We
So,
well,
you know.
and here's the thing. Aaron's mom gets them for us as
Oh, okay.
like it's a Christmas for the kind of family for
Sure.
us to be able to go, the girls and go be able to go to the shows. So it's not
Right.
about that. And we've always had great seats for this production. And she called and commented and gave some criticism. And apparently they got calls from a lot of people because there were people around us that were like, "What a."
Oh,
Did
so
you
this
hear
isn't
that?
just you complaining.
Right, absolutely.
It's a whole bunch of people.
Because I was like, I looked finally. I was like, "Can you hear this?" To Erin. I leaned over and she's like, "No," it was muffled and kind of. So that was a little frustrating. And when you're talking about some of the funny lines that were in it,
Oh yeah, because
Some
the
of the cute
boyfriend
stuff. Yeah.
steals the show.
forget it.
He's so
and,
funny.
And even though that you're missing that, the singing, it just sounded
So
like it
good.
was like we were underwater.
Oh, okay.
No.
And that
that's
was
not good.
annoying. Right.
not
So
I had that when I saw Book of Mormon. I had to go back
Okay.
and like review the soundtrack because I
Okay.
was like, oh my god, this was so much fun and so funny, but like, what the fuck were they saying there?
sure.
I would
But
agree.
we were way back under the mezzanine.
When
Right.
we were gifted tickets to Book of Mormon, and I went with my mom and Anthony Hugger, and we all went, and we were really, really high up in the mezzanine. I would like to see it again because I know there were a lot of things that we missed
Sure.
because the sound is not as good up there. I'd like to be,
And that one's really full.
Down-
of,
it's-
you have
there's
to
so much
you
going
have
on
to
in it.
listen to every single
Yeah, you
thing,
do.
Yeah.
or you'll
so
miss.
that's
So
one I
fun.
would like to see again with a better positioning for sound or somehow.
Sure. Yeah. So that was very fun. We did that and just kind of relax. I mean, I relaxed, whatever that is. Just worked and kind of got things.
That's what I call relaxing. Yeah,
getting
it's
things
working.
together at the house. Yeah. I mean,
Making shirts. That's how I relax.
yeah. Right.
That's how I wind down at the end of the
Do
day.
you listen
by
to?
working
Do you
somewhere.
have music going out there? Do you
You
listen?
know, I do a variety. Sometimes I do music. Sometimes I do
podcasts.
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 Sometimes I take this and prop it up and watch TV.
Oh.
Like I watched almost all of Nurse Jackie while just standing there making shirts. to help the time go, because it's monotonous work.
Yeah,
You know what
right.
I
You
mean?
need
It's
to
very
distract.
repetition, and
Right.
so I need my brain to have something to do
I think
too.
I feel like that's like therapeutic for like a while, the repetition, and
Mm-hmm.
then until it turns to now I can't take it anymore. You know, sometimes those tasks
Yeah.
Well, I
like will
do.
calm
you know,
me
I don't
down.
get that.
You
I've
know?
never had like everything I've ever done for work is really repetitious. Like
Yeah.
even
Bartending
bartending
is-
is just
Yeah,
step and
What do we have?
step
What
and
do we
repeat.
have?
What can
What
I
do
get
we
for you?
have? What
Vodka
can you
soda?
get?
Sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
that's the be $6.
$4.75.
Yeah,
How many times can you open a Bud Light? I mean,
yeah,
good lord.
that's true.
That was my signature
so you
cocktail
may
for
have
a good long time.
you may have had enough of that.
What do you like? Drink this. Shut up.
I don't know
What do
what
you
you
like?
ordered, but you're getting a Bud Light.
What do you like? I like people that order a fucking drink without 10,000 questions.
That's exactly
That's what I
I
like.
I always just rattle off something top shelf now.
Yeah.
Right. It's
You know what I
right.
like?
Sure.
I like Kettle One.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Sure, it's
My
Sure.
I
favorite.
love Grey Goose
Drink
with
it all
a
the
shit
time.
ton of limes.
Yeah, it's great.
That's what I do.
Glenlivet on the rocks.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
It's $14. It's
Yeah.
great.
Have it as a martini.
So for all my customers that are listening, I'm just
No.
kidding.
No, she's joking. I would have done that too.
Right, these people are assholes.
Yeah,
and
we're
That's
the
right.
assholes.
I am
not
the
her.
nice one. I'm the nice mom.
That's
The
funny.
nice
That's right.
mom.
I'm
So-
the cool mom.
Yeah. Other than that, just like I said, just kind of going about getting things ready for mom.
What are you gonna do with Mom's room? I'm curious. Are you gonna
Knocking down the wall.
Huh?
Knock down the wall in between my room and her room.
Make a master suite? Oh no
That's
shit.
so
Making
cool.
mega room.
And block off the hallway so that bathroom, the cool bathroom, the
Yeah,
new cool
right.
bathroom is now will be, I say is
Oh.
now, like it's already fucking done, but you know.
Oh no!
In your mind
now
it
I
is.
can see that in your house because now I know the layout. So
Yeah.
I get that.
So that would become the
So
master.
so the doorway to the room will be in the hall at the end of the hallway.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would just be open.
And you'll have the doors off the patio and the big. Got it. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and just leave it like that, and yeah, we'll see.
So so I know how projects go at your house.
It'll
So-
be done in 2031. Wait a minute.
that's
It'll
something
be
nice to look forward
started
to.
in 2031.
You know, it's good to have goals. It's nice to have something
Hey,
to dream
it's about a dream.
Yeah.
I
Right.
dreamed a dream of time
Of a
gone by.
new bathroom.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all.
Gotcha.
The end. Yeah, no, let it go.
No,
No, thanks. Thanks.
Doug, what are
Done.
you up to?
Yeah.
What's
What
going
have you
on
been doing, Douglas?
I haven't been
since
doing
your last appearance?
anything because I'm in what's called a grading cycle. So the papers and assignments and exams are due about every third or fourth week in the course. So I'll have some regular time, and then I get inundated with. I'm in the middle of grading about 125 papers.
How long has school been underway again? I've forgotten.
It's third week of August.
Okay, got it.
So right now, this is the exact halfway point. So we're exactly
semester?
we're halfway,
So
and we'll be done the
this-
first week of December.
You guys had yesterday and today off, right?
Correct,
Because,
as fall break.
well, yeah, right.
Right.
And
So
Aaron's
the-
on fall break this week.
So the semester on Thursday
they
we start
started
the
about
new.
the same time.
Yeah, we start early.
Hang
but
on a
then end
minute.
early.
You said you finished the semester the 1st of December?
We finals week is December is the first
Yeah.
week of December. The last day of class is November 30th.
And then
The first day of spring of semester is the first week of January, like January 7th or 8th.
wow, so they're off for 3 weeks in December?
Yes,
A little bit better than that,
Why
really.
do I
man.
remember that? I don't.
it's.
I guess
pretty
I've
cool.
never. I didn't go to college. you couldn't tell.
It's almost a
Duh.
month actually.
No.
But yeah, I didn't
It's about
realize
3
that.
week through. It's really a month.
yeah, technically a
but
month.
Right, because you said
Yeah.
the 30th, so you get off a whole month, and then okay, wow.
We have to grade into the. We feels a little less for us after they're done turning a final in. Then I have to grade them all. But so honestly, I just haven't been doing anything because it's
But
just how
that-
the job
Yeah.
works. Yeah. So I'm actually happy to be here because I have been just like 7 days a week, just trying to stay afloat.
well, and
this week. So-
a programming
and have
note.
gone nowhere and done nothing.
Speaking of being here, Doug will be with us also next week. We
I
are celebrating
will.
our
Wow.
300th
That's
show
right.
next week. Even though,
Thanks
even
for
though
inviting me.
technically tonight would be by
here we go.
numeric would be our 300th show. We're going to celebrate it next week because
Mine has a different tone.
they all do. Kinda.
Oh, hers does. My God.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked that.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
so-
so next Tuesday night,
Missy
Sounded
will
like
be
quite
out
singing.
and about.
Manly bad.
all of us will be
Singing.
here. All 5 of us will be here in the
Yes,
studio.
that'll be really
doing
interesting.
our 300 show. So, and I'm not sure how that's going to
It'll
go.
be
but
it'll be quiet.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
It'll be
Bowie.
quiet because it'll just be
Al
me and
won't
Al
have a thing
talking
to
the entire
say,
time.
yeah.
And I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
I can get some work done.
And
That'd be
Al
nice.
said he's
right? I'm
bringing
gonna bring
good
my
champagne. So
Well,
champagne greases the wheels of this bitch.
Al
Giggles.
better
Yeah, giggles.
watch out because there's a bottle of Montadon in there, and I'm wondering why he didn't already drink that.
Maybe that's for
That's
next
what
week.
he brought it.
Because he was
and-
tired last
So
week.
if I drink it,
No,
oh,
but I
right.
think he said that he was saving that for.
Okay.
Still, he'll be mad if
We
I
Maybe
might-
I'm making that up.
We might
don't
also
know.
want to pick up some shitty bottles to grease us up before
Yeah.
we get to the good shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
I'll bring a bottle.
we need short. Come on, bring it.
I don't know. You drink
got
the
it
good
covered.
shit first, and then the drunker you get, the shittier
That's
the,
right. That
the
we
shittier
got.
the liquor
Kat's
You
got
don't
that.
care.
She's got
Yeah.
that math right.
Once
There you
you're
go.
once you're 6 drinks in,
Yeah.
you order that well vodka. Who fucking cares?
You'll
It's all the
drink
same.
you'll drink turpentine. Who cares?
Some of it tastes like
None of
turpentine.
that.
Turpentine.
Some of it might be
turpentine and soda.
Can I
Yeah.
get that, please? Thank you very
Can
much.
I get a kerosene and Coke over here?
I get.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It will be fun.
Well, glad we've all got things to do and very busy.
I
Very
know.
busy.
It's just been normal stuff for me as far as, daily work and daily projects. I had the pleasure today of doing a special project with Mark Howard and we've talked about Mark before on the show. He wants to come and join us,
I know Mark.
which I think would be fun.
would be
Mark
fun.
is co-owner of both the Fez and the Bliss Rebar restaurants. So he wanted my help in moving some audio equipment today for their restaurant, and it's one of those things that were when the cat's away, the mice play. Though he's one of the cats, but when the other owners are out of town, he decides that I want a project done. I'm paying for it, and here's what we're doing.
Oh, that's so smart to
He
do it,
gets
though.
shit installed, things moved, things done, so everything works better. So today we spent 3 hours starting the project. I have to finish it up in the next 48 hours. For some
That's a
for
funny. We're talking
testing.
about like bosses. That's a funny boss thing to do. Like they're gone. The other bosses are gone. He
Right.
said,
So he
Yeah.
decides, screw you. I'm just going to do this. And
when
here-
I worked in counseling, that agency that we were at, the owner, when he would take like 2 weeks off a year, and the clinical director was then the de facto decision maker, and she'd always say we'd have suggestions. She'd say, just hang on. There's about 6 more weeks, and then when Steve is out, I'm changing everything. Then he would come back and she'd be like, "There's what we did. We fixed the agency for you." And he'd be mad, and she said, "Well, it's too late now. We're
it's already
Yeah.
implemented.
It's already done. So sorry." It was great. She was like, "I was like, isn't that kind of dangerous?" She's like, "Well, he's mad for about 3 days, and then he just gets over it."
Right.
So.
Are you still making money, Steve? Yep.
Yeah,
Shut up.
That's exactly. That's exactly what she said. Well, I just have accounting show him how the decision helped,
Right.
and then he shuts up. So
Oh, sure. That's helpful. Yes.
And then he's good. Sure.
money's good.
Yeah.
I just
So-
love that he does that. It makes
That's
his little
fantastic.
list.
So those projects are, keep going, and I got involved with. I got in the one of the realtors that I've been working on different projects. She did not inform me that one of the properties I was working on belonged to her mother. So
Okay.
she said, "I'll need you to talk to my mom about blah blah blah, what she wants done and what she wants finished." Okay, that's fine, no worries. So she gave me her information. Then I got an email, and then her mother called me. I did not get a heads up that her mother is originally from Sweden.
Oh,
That's
no.
fun.
Yeah, English
she
is
had a nice accent.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much I had to just listen. Like,
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
wow.
it was
Pick
real-
up the every fourth word.
and it's the Swedish where everything in every sentence or every fourth word is it goes higher.
Yeah.
It's higher. Everything she does higher. I don't know.
The
Oh,
up inflection.
It was interesting. So as soon as I was done with that
That's funny.
conversation, I text her daughter. I'm like, "Yeah, just met your mom on the phone. That's interesting."
Sure.
But it's fun to go into different properties and work with different people. There are some I don't, obviously some people are just crazy. But it's fun to fix something for somebody and immediately they're happy and their life is easier or better,
Sure.
whatever.
Oh,
I mean, I've done that for several. I found some stuff thrilling for you. I found, because I save everything, I
Yeah.
do. For your gates,
Yeah.
the project we need to continue on, I found the cable and the turnbuckle. I found it all and I've saved it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very
So I'm going to bring
nice.
that over. We're going to help to fix your gate issue. By the way,
Fantastic.
have you tried to open the other gate at the other? No.
Well, I didn't know that I was really supposed to.
Well, no, but I just figured you would. I mean, I installed the lock and did
no,
stuff.
I just didn't. No, I mean, I don't mean supposed to. I mean, I didn't know that I was supposed to use it.
Well, no,
I didn't know it was like ready to go.
the gate on the west end of your house.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just left it alone.
I'm
This
gonna-
just in, folks. Breaking news.
yeah,
Marnie has a gate.
Marnie
there.
has a gate she can use.
yeah. I didn't
Marnie
know.
can get in
Not
and
bad.
out
I'm
of
Yeah.
sorry,
your
my,
yard.
my producers are telling me yes,
Yeah.
in
My
and out.
Producers are
I've just been handed this
That's
wire.
fantastic.
No, you can. But when do the lawn people show up?
They haven't been there.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't
Did
had
you-
them come for a while.
You know the lock and the keys are still hidden up there. Have you even gotten those? Yeah. Wow. You're
Okay.
right on top of stuff.
Right on top of
I,
that.
Get on
I-
it, Rose.
I will.
all over
When I
that.
get home, I'm going to try that.
Oh, you should.
I
It'll be
will.
exciting.
And I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
I
I'm gonna
honestly
add-
thought I was supposed to not go
No.
near it.
No, I would never leave you with something that doesn't work
I
in
didn't
some
know.
way.
I didn't know.
No,
I don't. I
but you don't have really a reason to
no,
go in and
I
out of
don't
it.
have.
Right.
No,
you,
not at
you
all.
have keys to get in the house.
Yeah, I do.
So that
yeah,
helps.
that's a.
Oh, by
you
the
know,
way, did
yeah.
you bring all your? You have all your keys with you? Let me tell you how last week's show ended,
Yeah.
ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
I was
Oh,
gonna.
no.
That's why I was gonna
Yeah,
walk
good.
in here and be like, here.
So-
Did you fix your keys?
no, we haven't got to that
Oh
part
my
yet.
God.
No, last week, we wrapped
My
the
keys
show
are
up.
good. My
We,
keys are
we,
good.
we did the see you next Tuesday bullshit. We did all that right. Everybody leaves,
They are.
and Marnie can't leave.
Well,
She can't leave.
Can't find her keys.
Well, no, can't find them. You know why? Because they were in the car.
in the car.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the car.
That's where I
And
leave them.
Yeah.
I have a Slim Jim, but
Yep.
we couldn't open the car.
We
Oh,
kept
locked him in the
trying.
car. Locked
Oh
him
yeah,
in the
locked
car.
him
Oh
in
yeah,
the car.
locked in the car under stuff. I
Oh.
couldn't even see them.
Gosh.
Like
How do we
Yeah.
even know they were there?
Like they weren't even on the
Well,
seat where
we
we
just
could have
kind of knew.
because
Just-
they weren't anywhere else.
Process of elimination.
Yeah. So she
I
called
love that.
she called Mom and
Cracks
Di,
me up.
and Mom drove over
I'm
the
like,
the
"Can you
spare set.
please?" Yeah.
But that was
God.
fun. Yeah.
That is fun.
Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Wow.
So I'm glad that she
I've
brought her
never said-
keys in.
Yeah, I did. I made sure that I had
God.
them
Yeah.
like the whole time.
Why don't you get one of
Class.
those retractable
No,
things
because
on your
I'm
belt?
not
Like,
that lesbian, for Christ's sake.
come on.
Aren't you though?
Wow,
They're
no,
retractable.
I'm not.
With the Schneider keys just jiggling as
Yes.
you walk.
Like a janitor.
Fuck.
I like it.
We out.
We out. This lesbian's out.
I told her.
I got to go dig a tunnel. Girl.
I told her what she needs to do is just make a copy of the key
Yeah,
and
I
leave it
need to.
here.
I
So if
need
this
to.
happens again, I can at least get her in the door.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
To the remote control for
Right.
the rest of this
Right.
Smart.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we can get you
I
home. And
I will definitely do that.
Yeah. We'll have to get-
I'm gonna go to Ace and I'll get that done.
yeah. So that'll happen at the same time she takes the wall down in the house that her
Sure.
mom's
It'll-
getting kicked out of this weekend.
2025 is an exciting
She's not
year.
getting kicked out.
exciting
Yeah, I understand how
Yeah,
this works.
whatever.
Been
Yeah.
evicted.
She's getting evicted.
I didn't give her
I
anything
haven't had
normal.
I haven't had a talk with her, but I think she
I think
can't wait
she's
to
the
just run
one
around.
who's ready to run over there.
She just wants to run around naked in her
Don't
own
make me-
house.
don't make me.
And she
No,
wants to be
don't.
free. She wants to, she's taking the 2 cats, right? That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Woo! Freedom.
Yep.
She's-
That's a go.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too much. But yeah.
What happened?
Yeah,
Nothing.
no,
No, I'm not gonna.
I can't.
Oh,
Reel that
Anant,
back
I can help you with that. I happen to own the chat room and all of the registered names and have control of it. So let me work on that, and I'll see if I can figure it out for you. Like so
I
much
tried
to
to
do.
say hi, Anant,
Yes.
So much to do.
I
But
said it
by the way,
whispered.
if you've registered your name with the chat room and you've logged in, so you can keep the name that you want, it will not let you log in as that name if you don't use your official login password.
Mm-hmm.
Blah 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 blah.
I always say the password.
I don't think I made a login. I think I just show up.
Well, and if you just type it in and nobody else has claimed it, then it doesn't really care.
No.
Nobody fucking claim it.
But like
Bitches.
Anant was in there doing it, but he had AD and then did Anant new because he doesn't recall the login. So there's
Wow.
that.
Write your passwords down, people.
I just saved
Mine
mine.
In a
just
little
knows
book.
it.
Yeah.
It
Let
me
knows
tell you
because
what
I'm
I
a special
use.
guest
Yeah.
star.
Yeah, you are. And Doug Wilkie as
And you're fancy.
Doug. I know you're
Just-
Dal. You're
Yeah,
Dal tonight.
that's right.
Oh
Dal.
wait, I'm
That's right.
Dal. I'm
You're Dal.
Dal.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was Darny.
Let me tell you what I use for passwords, and I don't know if anybody else gives a shit about this or not,
Dat.
but I'll just tell you. I use a service called LastPass.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Do you use it? LastPass encrypts passwords. All you have to remember is the one password to
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Oh.
And then it remembers and will generate passwords for you. All those crazy characters and all the shit that you'll never remember.
It's
Until the
really
Russians
good.
hack into it.
Yeah,
and then
right?
They've got all of your passwords.
They've got all of them anyway.
Don't fuck with my parade, Cat Carlson.
I'm gonna rain on your parade.
No.
I'm gonna tell you how to
Oh,
live.
boy.
What are you-
Don't sit and putter.
No.
Oh, wow. Go do the
This
whole
is
thing.
fantastic. I like
Yeah.
it.
But the
like
last
it.
the last pass
Yeah,
is great
it's
because
nice.
I have so many pass. There's probably over 100 websites in my profile of different
Yeah.
things that I log into and out of.
Yeah, it's
It's,
fantastic.
it really is a great thing.
I'm not much better. I just use the same password for everything.
Yeah.
Until the Russians come
Yeah,
in. and
exactly.
hack
Until the
it.
Russians come and get
Yep.
my password and
They're gonna
realize,
hack.
well, we're not stealing her identity. There's
Yeah.
no fucking money there. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't worry about them
Wait,
stealing my
this
credit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
This just
know.
cost me $100 to
No.
steal her identity. I'm out.
Right,
I'm
now
out.
I'm at a loss.
We out.
Now the IRS is garnishing my wages.
Oh, see? That's funny.
Sad state of affairs. I know.
It's all
fair,
sad. But
fair.
you know what? We get through it because it's sad. It's all right. Let's do this and see how this goes. And if it doesn't go well, we'll do something else.
Ta-da.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Kat Carlson, you are up.
So I have been following obsessively all of the buzz around the new A Star Is Born.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
I haven't either.
Haven't
I'm,
either.
I'm
Me either.
curious.
Shirts,
But following.
shirts. But I was listening, I think it was last night. I don't know. One night I was up way too late making shirts and doing bullshit and listening to the soundtrack, and it's beautiful. And I can't wait to see the movie. And then I like literally sought out commentary and podcasts to listen to about it. And I stumbled upon, because I knew it was a thing, but I forgot it was a thing. Our friend Tuesday does a podcast called,
Tuesday Pugsley?
yeah,
I did not know that.
called Popcorn and Whiskey or Whiskey and Popcorn. One of
okay.
those two things. And it's movie reviews.
Oh,
Nice.
all right.
Yeah, goes and sees the films, and there's another
Nice.
gal on the podcast with her. I only listened to the one episode. But
What
it seemed,
what night do they do that? Do you know?
I don't. I just googled it on the device.
Actually, they may not do it live. They probably just do
They
it and then
probably
it's
just
posted.
throw it onto
Got
the-
it.
Okay.
Like a regular podcast is
It's
done.
it's available on the Apple Podcast delivery system.
Okay.
Whatever that is. I don't know the names yet.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I
I
found it.
did not realize that
and
about
it
her.
was a thing. And yeah, so I listened to that, and that was lovely. And almost all reviews are good.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
can't wait to
they
see
have
it.
Almost all
Yeah,
of them.
no, they've really
I'm sure there are
consistently
probably
been
some
good.
bad ones out there, but
No,
it's
they're
all
really
pretty
been
good.
good.
I always say almost just to qualify it, because then somebody's
Just
gonna be
in
like,
case.
wait, but I
Right,
read this
right,
one.
right.
Fuck you.
No,
Exactly.
the vast majority,
Right. All of the ones that I've run into
Mm-hmm.
have been
even from reluctant critics, were like,
Right.
"Wow!" And
Yeah.
I've heard that Bradley Cooper, which I saw Lady
Yep.
Gaga on
Colbert.
Colbert.
I haven't seen the
I
interview.
record him and I watch him like a week late when I finally catch up. But I didn't know he did like everything on that. He,
Yeah,
like,
she
wrote-
was like, "Holy shit, you can
But he
sing!"
like also wrote the music, sang.
Oh, I
he
didn't
did,
catch
put,
that.
like,
did,
directed, wrote,
months
starred.
of guitar and voice
Yeah,
lessons.
voice
he
lessons
learned how
for
to
a
sing,
year.
learned how to play guitar,
Lowered his voice.
Yep.
Wow, because she
acted,
did.
directed, like he did
Wow.
the whole.
So
the
I
whole
think this
shebang.
is going to be his big like shining star moment.
Because she, I mean, she really was like, "Holy shit!" Like he
Yeah.
opened his mouth and started singing, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
you can do that!"
And the music
Yeah.
is good.
So-
Like it's just
Yeah?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and
That's exciting.
Forgive my ignorance of all of this now, because there's been Star is Born, Judy Garland, Star is Born, Streisand.
This is actually the fourth.
fourth one.
So there was one before
Janet,
Judy.
Janet
Oh,
Gaynor.
was there?
Yeah, 1937 was the first iteration of A Star Is Born. I don't think it was called A Star Is Born, but it was that same
Okay.
that same iteration. I've not seen that one.
Janet Gaynor's in it. It's good.
Yeah, and then
they're,
there was
they're movies in that one. In the first two, they're movie stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the
Yes.
second two, they're music.
Okay. So I'm guessing soundtracks are different for all of them.
oh, very much so.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Very much
Okay.
so. All the music's all different for every one of them. Not having seen the the Gaga one, Judy's clearly my favorite. Like, and all of the articles, because this has been a real obsession. So all of the articles that rank them, almost always rank Judy's as the best,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
because it's lovely.
It's epic.
I just learned the other day because is it Stan Cucourt, right? The director
George Cukor.
George Cucourt
Yeah.
did Star is Born with Judy, and
Yep.
what I didn't realize was because I've always loved when she does The Man That Got Away.
Yeah.
When the one that they use in the movie is the one. The story basically goes that he didn't tell, and he told everybody it was a rehearsal shot. And she did the whole thing, and it was obviously filmed and done. And the applause that you hear in the background is the cast.
Oh, for the man that got away.
Right,
Yeah.
because they were just like, "Oh dear, wow, what she just did."
Because it's so good.
I
It's
didn't
so
realize that they
Amazing.
shot 2 or 3 others
With
in
different outfits.
different outfits,
Yeah.
different setup, everything. And I watched it because they were on YouTube. I didn't know
so
about
good.
this.
I know.
And it's
I went down that rabbit hole
It's
too.
interesting to watch
did.
them, and you're like,
I did. Yeah.
totally not the same.
I know.
But when she get the one that they use, oh wow. They just,
It's
I'm getting
amazing.
goosebumps right now
I
thinking
know.
about it.
It's
She
so
just
good.
sells that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Very different.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but because I would I would enjoy hearing Gaga sell
Oh,
me
yeah.
the man that got away.
And you know,
Oh, that would be really
you know
good.
what's-
You know who
But
sells
I-
it really well though is Ben Platt.
Exactly who I thought you were gonna say.
Ben Platt gets up at the Miscast concert about 2 years ago and talks about how he always wanted to be Judy Garland and this whole kind of a thing, and then just dives right in and sings the shit out of that song
Right.
too.
Wow. Okay.
I just wrote it down so I can remember to watch it again later.
and
It's
you
on
know,
the YouTubes.
we talked about, you were asked about the different soundtracks, and like, you know, it was movies or movie. It was about movie stars, and now they migrated it into, with Barbara Streisand, one to singers. And I saw this guy that was on, maybe I read it. It was so interesting. He said it is such a perfect like story arc. Like that story is so good, the shell of the story. And he was like, that it's almost always going to be great, like, because the story is so compelling, right? You know, the rise of one, the fall of the other. And he said it translates so well. You could even do it with athletes. You could do it with you could do it with
sure.
anything, you know. So it plugs in really nicely. And he was like, but when you do the music, then you get another punch, because then you get another. You get the element. You know,
Right.
and the other ones you were saying, oh, they're good actors, but in this one you get songs, and he was saying this was just, he loved it.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
Well, I always thought with reference to Judy, and maybe I'm mistaken, and I know because you know it well enough. I always kind of thought that with regards to Judy Garland, it was almost autobiographical
Yeah.
because she went through such a rise and a fall, and that whole messed up
Sure.
star thing that she did.
Alcoholism,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
drugs,
all that.
and- yeah.
So I always felt
All
that it
in
was
one
kind
character.
of autobiographical,
Sure.
and and I'm like, wow, who cast her in this? Oh,
Yeah.
George Cukor.
right, right. And husband Vincent Minnelli, big director,
Right.
and then she
Big
becomes
homo.
the hugest star in the
Right.
universe. And yeah, oh yeah, lots of overlapping themes there.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm curious
I
to
know.
see it.
I haven't seen it. I
I'm
want
sure
to
Mo-
see it.
Mo-
I'm
I'm
trying to work
sure
my schedule to find a
That
time
would
to
be
see
a time that Mom would probably like to see that too, because I mean, I'm sure it's just great. Like I can't see how you can go wrong. I like both the people in it, and
Yep.
like you were talking about, you know, he trained, or no, excuse me, you said it, but he can sing and he gets
yeah.
all good, and who doesn't love Gaga? I mean, in so
Yeah.
many aspects. I don't. Her concerts were a little much for me, but
Okay.
she can sing the shit
Yeah,
out of
her
it.
voice just
amazing.
carries
Well,
the day.
apparently she sells the character because a lot of the people that talk about these kind of things were like, oh, I don't know, Gaga,
I-
like she puts
I
on a
was
great
one-
stadium show, but can
I
she
was
act?
I was one
Right.
of those people. When I first heard this, I thought, oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. I guess I'm not. But I don't want to create too much controversy again. But
Sure.
when I watched her on American Horror Story,
See,
thought
and
she
I
was
didn't
just-
see it.
I turned it off. Like, her
Okay.
acting was
Not good.
that bad.
Okay. Was she supposed to be that way or no?
It was
Okay.
just horrible.
Okay.
But now I'm wondering if that just was Ryan Murphy and just a shitty story or whatever. But
Should be.
I couldn't like get out of the way that I'm just looking at Lady Gaga. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just not good. But the clip I saw with her, the underdone, the no makeup, the brown, that's her natural hair
The one
color,
where
by
he
the way.
drags her on
Yes.
stage.
Right.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, wait, I'm buying into this now. So I was one of the reluctant people,
Yeah.
but it must have been a good fit and good directing, and she clearly can handle the acting part because no one has trashed her. And I was thinking,
Oh, right,
I was
right.
thinking that was coming. Like
Yeah.
you know how they'll go after people like that, the non-actors, and they'll say this person's sucks. So
Right.
anyway,
So that's that. Martin? Yay.
Oh, we're still on obsessions. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I had to remind everybody.
I know.
Get
no,
mom- get
I
mom out
know
of
what
the
it
house.
is. No, no, it's not about getting my mom out of the house.
Packing.
Writing
Her
now.
But
obsession is
yeah,
packing.
it really is. Just trying to figure out the nice thing. It is that that is the obsession because that's really all it's been. And just trying to figure out, the easiest way to just split stuff up because we are right next door, so it is lovely, right? I mean, we can. Like I don't have to necessarily run anything over to someone.
Well, if it's a ladle she's had since '75, let her have it.
Well, that's what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah. Are
and
you
there-
guys gonna start
'cause
fighting
there-
over
No, we're not going to start fighting over anything because I'm like, there are so many things that are at the house, obviously because of my mom, that will look lovely in her home. That. Those are the things I've almost started moving over because I'm just I'm
Are we
good
talking
with
like
them.
ugly lamps? Is that what
No,
we're...
it's just more things that are not.
Like, I can't fucking believe this is in my house. Mom, you're taking it with you.
No, it's not even that. It's just things that we both have a different kind of style, not hugely different, but enough. And
It's about ugly lamps.
not lamps.
Okay.
And
Throw rugs,
it's-
couches, chairs. I don't
but-
fucking know, but
but some things that are different, and so I'm excited for that. But otherwise, I mean, God knows we have, because of the holiday stuff that we do, like we have enough silverware, we have enough plates.
I know
and
glassware was an issue at some point.
The glassware, God. Well,
Well, it's been corrected.
and not just that.
you must have proper glassware.
If you're gonna have gays come over,
yes.
you've got to have proper glassware.
Yes.
I know.
Well, she does now.
I do now. Yes. Thank you.
You're gonna have gays over. You gotta be
You
prepared.
gotta be preppered. I know.
Preppered.
That.
Prepper.
There's a reason I don't entertain, and it's mostly that.
No
Oh, mine is the
shit.
fact that I don't want anybody to come over.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
sure,
that.
that's-
Sure.
sure.
No.
But if it's me, Kat, you don't have to worry because I will bring it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I will make it.
The
I'll
sass,
facilitate
the sass and the glass.
the sass and the glass. We out.
I'll have neither, sir. Neither.
We out.
We out.
Joke. Bitches.
Bitches. There's
I got to go.
All right.
Bitch.
So wait. So you said a second ago there was something else, but you didn't want to say it, right?
Oh, because it's political, and I just have one.
God,
You know.
no.
You're gonna wait till later
No.
until we get
Wait.
rally wound
Yeah.
up.
Let me wait till I have another
Yeah.
drink.
We'll do it at the dance break.
Yeah,
It's fine.
The dance
Exactly.
break. I'm making another Crown
There's
and
a
Diet.
lot
We're gonna
happening.
I
go.
think I might have to have one of
Well,
those Crown and
Jesus
Diet.
Christ!
Wow.
I got plenty of
I know.
both.
I've got an empty glass too. Let's get this show
Come
on.
on!
Doug, what's your
And-
What's your
obsession?
obsession, Doug? What's your obsession?
Just
In 40 words or less.
I was going to say Stephen Colbert and just humor in general to get through the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Were you counting?
Perfect.
Fucking
Yeah,
funny.
you're at like 16.
Just because you
I
know
just sent you a
how
picture.
like mentally and emotionally just stressful this last whole thing
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And it's nice to just sometimes to tune in and
You're
see
cut off, that's it,
Stephen,
40
Stephen
words.
Colbert. She didn't count them.
I sure the
Yeah,
fuck did.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure she did.
She actually was, and I enjoyed it.
So it's just a nice break.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I did count the though, so you maybe have
Oh,
had one
I
more
have
word.
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
more word.
It's okay.
I think it should count
Colbert.
as a word.
That's your one extra word, Colbert.
Colbert.
I like it. Hmm.
I get
And
you.
I appreciate that.
I get you.
How about you, sir?
Just nice.
Well, again, oftentimes my obsessions nobody else understands, but I think you will appreciate it.
I probably will.
So most of the summer, I ride around on my bike all the time, but in the summer it was just. I've gotten a little older. I don't ride as often in the summer, and when it's 115 degrees,
No,
I don't
miserable.
really fucking care. So the weather has broken in Phoenix, meaning like
Oh, thank God.
our daytime highs are 78 to 81 degrees.
beautiful
We're
now.
good now.
Yeah.
We are.
It's
The overnight low, 58 degrees, 57 degrees. It's getting there. So I rode on last Friday night. I decided to get my bike out, and I was surprised that the batteries and the lights were still good. Aired up the tires, and away I went.
Good to go.
Very nice.
So I took off, and one of the things I had needed to do that I had been neglectful over the summer was I report streetlights that are out
I love this.
because it drives me nuts. We as
Yeah.
taxpayers pay for every single streetlight to be on. It's a contract between a
Yep.
local power company and the city of Phoenix that they have all the lights on. That's their deal. So you submit if there's a pole number, if there's an address, you submit it through the website, yada, yada, yada. It gets put out there and somebody fixes it. It's amazing. Anyway,
And they really do fix them, right?
they really fix
Yeah.
them.
It's not just
Yeah.
some void that you're.
So the way that I had always done it was because I'm not taking a pad and a paper with me. I take my phone and I ride around, and when I see them, if there's a pole number, I send myself emails at every light. The pole number, the address, the corner that it's on, yada yada. I do all that, right?
Sure.
So I sent myself 14 emails with 15 lights
Wow.
total that were out. Well, what I did not know is that the city of Phoenix has updated their website, and I am so happy for this. They now have it. Previously, you could not upload a picture of because sometimes telling them where it is and what is like if it's not exactly somewhere, it's like a little bit off of the corner or whatever.
Then they don't bother.
Some people don't.
Yeah,
they
they're
just
not
don't,
good at
right.
reporting.
So you can now upload a picture of where it is, which is great.
This is so good.
Cool.
The other thing is it will geolocate it.
Oh,
if you go to their
perfect.
app
Oh,
or go to their
wow.
website and reporting it from wherever you are, you can have it geolocated and it sends them the exact location of where the light is. I realize that this means jack shit to a lot of people.
Yeah.
but
I love
it's-
it.
That's awesome.
But it is crazy to me how many lights that are out and how dark the streets
Yeah,
get.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And some of them are important intersections where there's a crosswalk
Mm-hmm.
or a lot of heavy traffic here in Central Phoenix.
Yep.
Like what happened on 16th and Buckeye. Did you see that
I
story?
did not see that.
Sorry, but there's
No.
so at 16th and Buckeye, there's a new restaurant that has gone in down there, and that area is starting to get a little bit of like new stuff in there. But there's a light there, and then but there's just south of there. A lot of families, it's where the houses are, so they all want to cross there. And many of the people that live in that neighborhood don't have cars and stuff, so they don't
and
want to walk.
Is there
and
not
they-
an official crosswalk?
No, and the grandma. This is awful. Grandmother and the little 5-year-old walked across, and it's so dark. There's no like street lighting, correct? And they hit him and killed him. And you know that you're supposed to like walk all the way up there, but everyone in the neighborhood is like, no one does that.
Right.
I wouldn't even walk. I don't even walk 10 feet. I jaywalk it too. And so they were saying that they wanted. They're now, of course, it always
gonna-
takes
Of
someone
course,
to die
right,
before they
right,
put the
right.
light
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
But it makes me, and you've converted me now. I now look.
I've converted you.
I have looked. I look all
It
around all the
drives me
time to
nuts,
look
yeah.
and see like if the lights are there. So.
Yeah. And I do love the city of Phoenix. They started it earlier this year. They've taken out a lot of the older lights that take electricity. They all have been replaced with LEDs.
Yeah.
And it's the power saving is there. They're brighter.
That's
they're
awesome.
wider. There's so many nice
It's
things.
great on all
Now the other cool thing was across the street from my mom's house. That corner light was out, and I reported it. And they fixed it, but I was happy that when they fixed it, they replaced it with a brand new LED light because hers
Okay.
was an old school light that was there. But again, that's been my thing. I ride
Yeah.
my bike and I see lights that are out, and you just report them because the city doesn't have someone that drives around. And but if City of Phoenix, if somebody is listening,
Oh, that would be the job for you.
No, right?
I would love to just have the job where you give
Why
me
don't
an
you
area.
pitch that to them? Write them a proposal.
Sure. Oh, I could probably do that.
No, you absolutely could do that.
Drive around at night and
Write
just
yourself a nice salary into that proposal.
Exactly.
Yes. You know what it's going to be?
120,000 a
6
year.
figures
Yeah.
plus. I'm going to
Yeah.
drive around for 4 or 5 hours a night. Okay, maybe 6. And we'll drive around.
For 6 figures, you ought to give it an 8-hour day, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm not going to charge them mileage.
Fair point,
But
well
anyway,
made.
no,
Yeah.
that's,
in.
it's crazy how many lights that are out and people, they don't think it's their issue. But I'm like, it lights up neighborhoods and it's a safety thing. There's so many
It
things
is a
that go
safe.
with it.
You know, I'm serious. You could probably start that as a part-time job. I bet they would pay you for that, just for the safety
I would
reason
agree.
alone.
But the other thing,
Then they're not getting lawsuits and they're not getting
well, there's that.
complaints.
But I
and-
keep thinking of the fact that it's already contracted.
Yeah.
The power companies are
Sure.
already being paid. If let's just use a round number. Let's say 500 lights are out at any given day in the entire city of Phoenix.
Sure.
They're getting paid for them to be on, and they're
Yes,
saving
and they're
the money,
not.
right?
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And as much of an ass rape as APS
Yeah.
has been giving us the
Uh-huh.
past couple of years. By the way, hashtag APS screw you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. And now they're wanting another rate increase.
I know.
And
we just had one.
Actually, it should be hashtag APS ass rape. Because
Right.
that was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for real.
Yes.
yeah,
That was
parenthetically, we're
Yeah.
going in dry
Yeah. Oh
because
my
they are.
Ouch.
And then the guy that runs
It's going to
it,
be dark in here.
Don Brandt, the guy that runs it, now there's a whole big hullabaloo because it's come out that he is supporting, or APS has been donating to political campaigns.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's been
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole big
They're
hullabaloo
just
about
sick.
this.
All right.
It really sounded like you said rape PS.
Yeah, it did.
Rape
and
PS.
Yeah.
I just got like my notification
I
for
know.
my APS bill this week, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
about right.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
being gentle and kind, not.
No, not at all.
No,
All right.
not
I
at
want
all.
to think about this becoming a job of some kind for
Rape
you.
PS.
But the funny thing is, it's only a night job
Mm-hmm.
because you can't
Sure.
go check street
Right.
lights in the
That'd be a
daytime.
good part-time job.
That would be
I
great.
love
I
the
know.
night job.
I'll call
love
the
the
I'll call the
boogie.
mayor.
Oh,
Get
maybe.
on that.
Well, unfortunately, Greg
On
Stanton,
the
when he
street
was
lights
mayor,
Yeah.
when he saw me, he knew me. I don't know if
No, you-
the new one doesn't know me, but
Yeah.
that would be great to get a job where
I
you just
know.
drive around and report lights that are out.
I'm not even kidding about this.
There's tons
we
of
will
them.
have lunch and talk about it.
And I think
There's
they've
a way.
also made a change where they no longer do poll numbers. I think the geo tracking now they have eliminated
So
the poll
there
numbers.
there were poll numbers.
There
Is
were.
that the same for stripper polls?
Oh.
Very
Different
different.
numbering system.
Different. I
Different
think
numbering
it
system.
is
It's a
different.
different numbering system.
But what I can't prove is
Yeah, I
I don't know how
think so.
the poll numbers get rubbed off somehow
Yeah.
all around there. So I don't know if strippers are just like, hey, walk-
practice,
you know,
practice,
right.
practice.
You do you.
Bears,
Walk by a
aggressive
pole
bears.
and do a twirl. I don't
twirl.
I don't know. Maybe that's
I
how they
see
do
it.
I just can't
have
help
to.
myself.
I have to.
Wow.
So that's my thing.
It's
That-
my inspiration.
Sure it is.
Do a twirl.
Do a twirl. Oh, that's a RuPaul
It's
reference.
RuPaul.
I totally
I
forgot.
like it.
Yes.
Supermodel.
Dun, dun,
good
dun.
stuff.
Yes.
Wow, I went a whole different way. I went to Air Supply, I think. Never mind.
Well,
Carry on.
tell now, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Something
right?
about inspiration. You're the
Okay,
me
okay, that's
to my
Chicago.
That's Chicago.
Was it Chicago?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
the
Yeah, that's a-
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
That's
sounds better when they
Same.
do it.
Yeah, a
Same.
little
A
bit.
lot better.
Yeah, yeah. It's good.
Honestly, I don't think so.
A
I
lot-
did like the mezzanine
I
that
beg
you were
to
doing
differ,
earlier,
sir.
The what?
though. The mezzanine that you were doing earlier.
Oh, right.
I did like that.
We were. Yeah, that
It was
exciting.
beautiful.
Wasn't that
There
exciting?
were a lot of songs in this first hour.
It's a
Good
musical
work,
hour.
guys.
Wait, I'm gonna do another beverage.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more songs.
More singing.
If you think it sucks so far,
More
just
singing. Yeah, it's about to get worse.
wait. It's about to
That's
get
right.
worse.
Yeah.
you had it coming.
See that hill? We're
You
going
had it
down.
coming.
We're going down.
We out.
We're going down it.
Tune
We
in
out.
to listen to this shit.
Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun.
do a whole number.
Oh, let's
Okay.
stack this. All right, I think we're ready to do this. Let's see if we can pull this off like this. Oh, it's our teaser for the
Oh my God.
hour 2.
Tease, tease, tease.
Tease, tease, tease. It's our teaser for headlines that we start on the B block of the show. Oh, where's my headlines? They're right here. Oh, butt dials coming from a Hawaiian hospital.
Why don't you pee on me?
You're an Asian.
Some birds got drunk.
Man charged for filming himself.
Halloween is a crime.
Bloated POTUS.
Wow.
Marriage proposal goes badly wrong.
Contestant winner awarded a woman's weight in beer.
Oh,
Wow.
And a doorstop was found to be worth $100,000.
I can't wait for the beer story. What is that?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
that's nice.
All right, kids, we're going to go do a coffee break. I'm going to make a drink, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, Dad, nice hat.
It's a Panama Jack hat. For your information, it's stylish.
Oh, okay. Well, are you from Panama?
No,
Is your name Jack?
no.
Okay, so I guess we just answered that.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the B Block, hour 2 of the show with Clayton McKee. I am the aforementioned host. This is show 362. It's the 9th of October, 2018. You're in Studio C with the cast. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and our special guest commentator taking the place of Al Perkins this week. It's Doug Wilkie.
Dow.
Thank
Dow.
you.
Dow.
By the way, next
Ooh,
week,
we're gonna open it.
next week is show 363. We are celebrating 300 shows.
Wow.
Over 7 years, you have suffered along with us.
I've been late to everyone.
No, in the beginning you weren't because we wrote
Next
together.
week it starts
Right.
at 6.
None of that
So
works.
we're going to have champagne and you be here, you be there, wherever you are. But it's our 300 show celebration. I can't believe we've made it this far. And thanks to you, we've done it. Oh, here we are. Our headline segment tonight. If you got an incessant phone call last week from a hospital that cares for Hawaiian monk seals, you were butt dialed. Or more specifically, you were foot dialed by a gecko. Marine mammal veterinarian Claire Simone was at lunch when she got a call from the Kikaiola, which is the big island hospital where she's the director. There was a silencing that they went to the phone line, and then she got 9 more silent calls followed by fear that there was a seal emergency, so she rushed back to the hospital. She wasn't the only one getting the calls, and people started asking why the hospital was calling nonstop to various phone numbers. They were trying to figure out why a, quote, bazillion calls were made from the one single phone line. She called the phone company, and a rep tried to talk her through finding a possible line that had a Fritz on it. She walked into the lab and found the culprit. The gecko was perched on a phone, making calls to everyone in the recent call history of that phone.
That's funny.
Here's a picture of the gecko on the phone. He was actually on the touchscreen of the phone making these crazy butt dial phone calls.
Oddly, he's smarter than our president.
Fact.
No.
How does this thing work?
Yeah, I don't.
She
Hello,
wrote
hello, Tokyo. Hello.
his tiny feet made all of the calls. She wrote in a Twitter thread the next day detailing the saga of the mystery phone calls. Social media delighted in the tale, and some people offered jokes about a certain company's gecko calling to save you money on your car insurance. After discovering that the mystery caller, which is Simone, I guess the name of it.
She's fancy.
Excuse me. After discovering the mystery caller, Simone caught the gecko and put it outside on a plant, she said, on Tuesday. If there's a little gecko that helps us share the story of the conversation, then that's a win, she said. Of the work she does caring for all of the endangered seals, she goes, quote, I think people needed a little pick-me-up with this current news cycle, and the gecko provided it.
I love it.
That's
I
lovely.
love it. That's a cute story.
That is a cute story.
Good.
I like it.
It's really cute. You know what's not cute?
What?
Oh,
Donald Trump.
yeah.
You know
I
what is cute?
Yeah.
Oh, stand by.
Dogs peeing on a statue of him.
I love it.
That's right.
I
Our
do
new
love it.
mantra: when they go low, we go lower. Fuck 'em.
That's a great new motto.
A statuette of Donald Trump, looking more like 1980s Donald Trump, was spotted in Park Slope, which is in
God,
Brooklyn,
this is amazing.
on Friday evening near the intersection of Union and 7th. That means nothing to most of us, but whatever.
Right.
We talk about Phoenix an awful lot. I guess,
Right. There's
I guess
that.
places can talk about
Yeah.
other places. The installation encouraged dogs and humans, parenthetically, to urinate on the bust of Trump, which was placed atop some AstroTurf.
Do not pee on it. Though, if
That's
you're a
against
human.
the law.
Yeah.
The dog
So
one's
there it is.
The
illegal.
dog,
Yeah.
not a problem.
The
but-
Pee on Me
Yeah.
sign also included a plug for its maker, a brand content studio called Porcupine Armadillo.
Great name.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when this news outlet, which I don't care who it was, reached out to the creator, Phil Gable is his name. They told him a little more about it. What inspired him?
I
well,
love it.
Aside from promoting his company, which is very important,
Oh, by all
as
means.
an owner of an empire, I
Yes.
understand the
Yes.
importance.
Branding
Yes.
is important.
It
I
is
know. I
important.
really need to
That's true.
get a logo
Yeah.
figured out.
True.
But the owner of the company, Phil Cable, he says the kind of people who appreciate this sort of thing are also the kind of people I love to work with. I like Phil already. I like Phil
Absolutely.
already. He says it was partly a public service. As a dog owner, he understands that people understandably get annoyed when dogs pee on their flower beds and
Yes.
their stoops and whatnot. But a dog's instinct to pee where other dogs have already peed is very, very strong. So they need positive places to pee,
But,
especially in a city environment.
You know, I do too.
well, but again, illegal.
Put some Cheerios in there and make a game out of
Well,
it.
no, I
honey.
just think everybody deserves a positive place to pee.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
And a statue of Donald
Yeah.
Trump's face is a great place to start.
It really is.
No.
I mean, $20 is
It
20
really
bucks.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, Phil also says that this was a bit of a cathartic creation for him.
No,
You know.
really?
yeah.
He says, I know, right? It was largely, he says it was largely just a personal expression of his own disdain for the president, both as a president and as a human.
Sure. If you can be called human. Sure.
He says, I find it cathartic anytime I can express disdain through comedy, especially if it's related to politics, this show. And in this case, it's both funny and useful.
Absolutely.
Which we
So
really
it
appreciate.
started out, it was brown like that, the bust, because it started out just as being a piece of shit. And it stayed a piece of shit.
Wow.
But he said pee on
Marnie
me.
is
on
a
it.
little ranting tonight.
Also,
Kat, I love this
do
story.
you
Pretty
have the theme song that goes with that?
I don't. Was I
No.
to compose one? Do you have it?
Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't it go something like, "Pee on me when you're not, strong. I'll see your face. I'll pee on your face so long."
Oh, see, I was gonna sing a whole different song. I was gonna sing.
What song were you going to sing, Kat?
I didn't have it down.
Wouldn't it be
was,
nice to pee on Trump's face
Okay.
Oh, that's good too.
on the street in
Wouldn't it be
Brooklyn,
nice?
NYC?
Okay.
Wouldn't
I like
it
that.
be nice
On the
to
fly.
pee on
Yeah.
Trump's face?
Going a little Beach Boys with you
Yeah.
there. I thought you were going
I enjoy
Coca-Cola
the
for a
Beach Boys.
second.
Actually, they sang
I'd
that
like
in
to
Russia.
buy the world a
Wouldn't it be
piss.
nice to pee on Trump's face? That was in Russia.
No, I translated it.
Oh, I like that.
Just
Yeah.
now. Oh.
That's
I get
really
it. I
good.
get. I hear that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
That's
realize
awesome.
you were fluent in Russian.
No, but
Yeah.
my new Apple device just
Yeah.
shot it right into my
Oh.
brain. It's
Right,
very
right.
it's miraculous.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Well,
That's great.
That is
Yeah.
great.
I thought it was good.
Yep.
Apparently, he's making more, and will be spreading them about his neighborhood. As the first one weirdly disappeared, it was so popular.
Well, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Weirdly
Can you
Yeah.
imagine
He's-
walking into someone's home?
He's back out installing a fresh batch of busts. And the new ones are physically secured in place.
Yeah, girl.
Fantastic.
There you
Learn
go.
from his mistakes.
Yes.
Did you learn something?
Marnie, you sent me 2 pictures. Do you need one for this next story?
Well, the one was simply going off of Kat's obsession.
Okay. I've got both of them ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot what
So,
my
yeah.
obsession was.
So that's all that was. But
No,
the second one.
This is what she's talking about. This was Streisand and
Oh,
Gaga.
yeah.
Oh, because she went to Streisand's house. It was a whole thing. I
And
don't-
that's just.
I heard the interview.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And, Streisand does not. The whole pictures of
Oh,
the being interviewed and the
Speaking
whole
of that,
iconic,
speaking of that,
I think I know where you're
iconic
going.
photo.
I think I know where you're going.
they're gonna remake Funny
Oh,
Girl
God.
Yes!
Yeah.
on Broadway,
Yeah,
on Broadway.
starring Gaga.
Has that been
Yeah.
confirmed though?
Has been confirmed.
Because I
Yeah.
wonder Al's gonna have
I've
a
seen
heart
it on
attack
3
about this. I
sources.
think.
He just is going to plan a trip
One
to
of
New York.
which looked legitimate.
No.
I'm going with him.
I don't know.
I've decided.
I'm not sure he's gonna be excited about Lady Gaga.
Him and I, I'm not sure about the
I
Gaga
don't.
part, but
I
Let me
think-
tell you something
I
I think
about
I know
this.
Al well enough to know he's not gonna love that.
he's still gonna go see it.
He doesn't have a
Oh
choice.
yeah, he will.
He doesn't have a choice.
He wants. I would.
Right, he
my
doesn't get to
guess
do the
is he
casting.
wants somebody iconically Broadway oriented,
I
not
can't,
the
I
pop
can't
star.
remember who we were talking about putting in there because we were literally sitting at the bar watching Show Tunes talking about this very
Yeah.
thing within the last month. But I can't remember.
Oh, I
who
can't
we
think
were
of the
gonna
name of the girl
cast.
I was just going to think of. Oh, shit.
Because Al will tell you how vocally challenging because that show's so long.
Yeah.
Because
That-
Al can do it.
Yeah.
Well, and he'll tell you the
But
songs
he'll
that
tell
were
you,
cut because
so,
they're so
yeah.
hard.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
so
be
I'm
wonderful, and we're
wondering
gonna go see it.
if he'll think that she can do it or not.
Oh, I can't think of the name of the actress that he loved. Oh, Sutton Foster.
Yeah, I love her.
I don't know if she
love
could do
her.
it though. I don't know.
Don't know.
Anyway,
All right.
Yeah.
she's a delight.
Doug, I think we're up to you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're up to Marty. I'm
we're
sorry.
up to
I'm
Marty.
terribly
That's okay.
sorry.
Next caller.
Next caller. Is the caller there?
Well,
Poughkeepsie, you're on.
thanks.
Hi guys, first time, long time.
I'll take my answer off the air.
My name is Helen, and I'm calling
I'm
about a bloated POTUS.
All right.
There's a bloated POTUS in England.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
no, the
there's
whole
a
story.
new-
You gotta. You
I
gotta.
gotta
finish
stay
it
in this voice.
the whole time.
Behold, there's a new Trump monument in England. A bloated POTUS is
England, you say.
confronted. England, defiant by Roald Dahl, Matilda.
Yay.
That's all. I'm only doing that part.
Oh,
Sorry.
come on, come
I'm
on.
saving everyone. So there's a picture that I sent Mr. McKee, and
right
the
here.
statue.
It's right
There
there.
it is. We're prepared.
The statue of the title character from Matilda is unveiled in Great Missenden in Buckinghamshire, England, alongside one of President Trump to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the novel Matilda. I think it's funny that anything associated with reading would have Trump involved, but that's just an opinion. So in Matilda, the 88 children's classic, the 5.5-year-old heroine enjoys such pluck and precocious wit that she escapes not only her neglectful parents and the authoritarian headmistress of her school, but also the entire unfeeling and unthinking adult world. It's an ability that many might prize as the adult conversation in Washington, revolves around sexual assault, death threats, and binge drinking. As the Doll Story Company prepared to mark the 30th anniversary of the novel, it asked the British public to weigh in on the replacement for Miss Trunchbull. I believe that I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
The traditional spelling, of course.
The villainous headmistress. Dun dun dun.
Often played by a man on the Broadway production.
A survey asked who Matilda's present-day antagonist would be. Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, came in second. Piers Morgan, third. Topping the poll with 42% of the vote was Trump.
Wow.
Now, as a result, there's a pair of life-size fiberglass statues in Great Missenden, which is a village in the Green Hills of southeast England. The U.S. president leers at Matilda Wormwood, the title character in the beloved doll novel. Matilda, hands on her hips, eyes ahead, plants herself defiantly in his way. The temporary installation is a monument to the disdain with which Trump is viewed abroad. Only 28% of the British public trust the U.S. president to do the right thing in world affairs. Elsewhere in Western Europe, the figure is even lower. And in America, it's downright,
Yeah.
we out.
We out.
Yeah.
Look at the face they put
Digging
on
the,
this
I know,
thing.
Look
isn't
at
that
his-
great? Bloated POTUS.
And look at his tie.
Oh my God, it just cracks me up. So any visible figure, public figure, which of course includes the president, is a reference point in our rapid fire public debate. And I don't see that as necessarily positive or negative, said the director of the Doll Museum. It's simply how things are today, and it's fascinating to see how people relate to the tiny heroine. The two figures square off outside the local public library in the village where Doll, who died in 1990, lived for 36 years, and which helped inspire Matilda's world. Gardam speculated that the similarity of the name Trump to Trunchbull may have played a role in the selection. Oh, I don't think so. I think it's just,
He's an asshole.
I mean,
Yeah.
call that, now would that be irony or a coinkydink? I can't tell.
Coincidence.
That's
Fucking
what I
Alanis
thought
Morissette.
you would have. It
Damn
depends on
Alanis.
who is saying so. Anyway, the public chose a real life figure because Matilda herself feels so very real to them. So I just thought that was
Even across the pond.
yeah, even across the pond there.
but it's-
and they had the
it's-
big Trump balloon. Do you remember the?
Oh, the baby
The
Trump.
balloon.
Yeah,
I love that thing.
Oh,
That's
for
my friend's
real.
profile pic. Is that?
I love that.
know.
Yeah. What were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
It's almost the defiant girl in front of the bull on Wall Street, though.
Right.
Like, it's almost that exact
You're right.
same.
It
You're
conjures
right.
up that same
Yeah.
memory.
What's that?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
for
it's
sure.
that same theme anyway.
Yep, I love it. Yep, absolutely, I agree. So I just
Yeah, the
thought
little
that
girl.
was
Yeah, you're right. She does
Yep.
look a lot like that little. I mean,
Good.
yes.
Yep.
Well,
I
and
like it.
and going with the fact that then it's
I like it.
Trunchbull, right?
Yeah.
And with the last name and the girl, I like it a lot. Yeah,
I do
that's
too.
fantastic. So anyway, very
like it.
cool. And I just like that they fucking hate him too.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah, for
Everybody
real.
does.
Yeah, done.
Mr. Wilkie, what you got?
All right. This is a Minnesota story for
I
you,
like
Marnie.
it. Yay!
Some birds in Minnesota are getting really flocked up on fermented berries, according to the police city of Gilbert. On Tuesday, the department posted a notice on Facebook warning citizens that it has received several reports of birds that appear to be under the influence, flying into windows, cars, and acting confused. Apparently, The birds are getting boozed up from berries that fermented earlier than usual due to an early frost.
Oh.
Matthew, yeah, it's true. So Matthew Daughter, this is a real story. A self-described bird guy in Palo Alto, California, told the Washington Post that since there's no such thing as a birdie breathalyzer, you have to look at their in-flight behavior to the level of avian intoxication. They'll be flying kind of erratically, and we typically see them flying lower than usual through traffic. They're just careless, and they're not looking for cars or other obstacles. He said robins, cedar waxwings, and thrushes are bird species most likely to tie one on since they eat more berries than the other species. They just get sloppy and clumsy, Daughter said. They have actually fallen out of trees on occasion.
I was a robin when I was drinking.
The police department's post said the birds will likely sober up soon after the fermented berries are eaten and ask locals not to call unless they see angry birds laughing and giggling uncontrollably and appearing to be happy, or Tweety acting as if 10 feet tall and getting into confrontations with cats.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you where you're going. Oh,
fuck you and your one flew over the fucking cuckoo's nest. Cuckoo.
So I just have a little add-on to this. I found it on 2 sites. So the other site had more. It said it's not the only town where birds are getting buzzed from eating fermented berries. In fact, the Audubon Society in Portland, Oregon has a drunk tank for these birds.
Oh my God.
Sometimes they're picked up after crashing into windows, and others are just found disoriented on the ground. The group's conservation director told us, we hold them in captivity until they sober up, and then we set them free.
We all have that one friend that you just find them just kind of drunk on the ground.
They put the drunk birds inside hamster cages until they sober up.
Oh my God.
With the hamster?
Listen to this. You're going to love this. The reason that we might suspect the berries is because the birds come in with the obvious telltale signs of red berries all over their face. And they often have their throats quite full of berries as well.
Oh,
That's good
fantastic.
stuff. It's the
Isn't that
the Otis Campbell of birds. and I'm just going to lock myself up for now.
I'm gonna go in here.
That's all I got on that one.
Well, that's enough.
Isn't that
That's funny shit.
And all these people, all those citizens are like, what the fuck is going on? These birds.
It'd be like the Birds movie. They're all wasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
with
god.
With the berry juice all over their face.
The telltale signs.
That little hussy's been drinking again. She has berry juice everywhere.
Speaking of drunk and disorderly, which is, I believe, why this man.
Oh, it's a good segue then.
Has got his charges here. My home state. I'm so proud. A Missouri man is charged with a felony after he allegedly filmed himself removing an ankle monitor and then he posted it on Facebook.
Oh, no.
Because that's smart.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. 33-year-old Dustin Burns of Springfield, Missouri, which is just an hour east of my hometown. By the way, here's a picture. Here's a mugshot of Mr. Burns.
Oh.
He looks smart.
Wow.
He seems smart.
Yeah.
He got half a haircut.
Yeah. So there he is. So 33-year-old Dustin Burns of Springfield was charged last week with tampering with an electronic monitoring device. The video shows someone using a butter knife and a screwdriver to remove an ankle monitor.
Master tools.
The man advises viewers to remove the ankle monitor without damaging it to avoid hefty fines.
Smart. Yeah, real smart.
The Springfield News Leader reports court records show Burns pleaded guilty to violating a restraining order earlier this year and was placed on probation. Court records show warrants were issued this summer after several probation violations were filed against Mr. Burns. He has been in the Greene County Jail since August 28th. He does not have an attorney listed on online court records at the time of the story.
Poor Mr. Burns.
Wow.
Poor
Poor
Mr.
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns. That's what I heard too. I like it.
Come on, Smithers.
Well, speaking of crime and punishment,
Very nice.
Both, it's like country and western.
I like it.
Crime and punishment.
crime and punishment, we have both kinds. We got both kinds, country and western.
Woohoo!
Sissy, get in the truck.
Bubba.
Sissy, that's from
How old?
Sorted Lives.
Sorted Lives. That's funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, I went urban cowboy.
Oh god.
Because that's where
my
country
bad.
and western comes
Sissy.
from.
My bad.
Oh, yeah. But you could go either way.
Either way,
Super.
we're a buy show.
Kristen Cinema's been on.
Yeah, we're
As
gonna
in
vote.
people
We're all
listen
voting
to
for
us and they go,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, serious question. How old is too old to trick or treat?
Oh, that's such a great
Oh,
question.
Saw the story.
1741.
Pretty girl, pretty girl.
I think as long as you're respectful, you can go at any
Pick a
age.
number. Pick a number.
13.
All right, 13. You said
87.
I've
Eight,
already.
wow.
I'm going to recuse myself because I've seen the story.
Oh.
Recuse myself.
Wise choice, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Well, according to city code in Chesapeake, Virginia, anyone over the age of 12 who is caught trick-or-treating could get jail time.
Oh,
Fuckers.
Wow.
Honest to God, trick-or-treating over the age of 12 is punishable by a fine of $25 to $100 or
That's ridiculous.
or up to 6 months in
No.
jail.
6 months?
Yeah, redonk.
6
Not okay.
months
No.
in jail.
Well,
Now,
aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating, Sonny?
Right. Police say they're
Show
not.
me your ID.
Shut up, bitch. That's how that works.
Well, that's how you get arrested.
That's how going to jail works.
Yeah.
That's right.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Catch me, baby. Catch me.
Right.
Well, police say that they're not going to actively enforce this.
Oh.
Probably
good.
unless, of course, the kids are black.
Or brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Or brown.
Then they're going
you
to
have a better
jail.
chance of being black in
Yeah.
Virginia, but
Oh, well.
sure.
Just in
Yeah.
case.
Or brown. Sure. Sure.
I'm just saying.
Brown people are everywhere.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And they say if a 13-year-old is trick-or-treating with a younger sibling, for example, they won't be in any trouble. Unless they're black.
Right, right.
Right.
So they're like the chaperone at that
fuck's sake.
point.
Well, sure.
So
Yeah.
now I,
Sure.
I honestly I didn't read the story. I saw the headline and I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. But is this one of those stupid archaic laws that's on the books that's been there for like ever and nobody's updated it, or what?
It doesn't say.
Like Arizona's got a few of those laws out there that are like you can't ride a donkey into town or some
Yeah.
stupid bullshit. I forget what all of them are, but they're
You have to
they're-
wash your horse.
I love stupidlaws.com.
Right,
That's
there's
super
a bunch
fun.
of laws on the books that are just never enforced.
Right.
Nobody, but you forget that they're literally there on the books.
Yeah,
so I
no,
didn't-
there's
I wondered about that.
There's no source to the law or history. To
I
the
can't
law as to
imagine
when
that
it
this
was
is something that
enacted.
was recently added to the books. It just doesn't seem like it would be. But
No.
that's 12 years old, huh?
Yeah.
No, I think you can go higher than that. I mean,
I don't know. You know, I feel like
if you're chaperoning kids and
I
taking
feel like
care
it
of them,
shouldn't be illegal.
Right.
For God's sakes.
right? I'm not saying you get hands out of cansies, but you should go with the kids. I think that if you had somebody who is chaperoning children to make sure they were
But
safe.
this is saying like trick or treating though. Like you're the one.
Right.
But if you're
getting
dressed
the
up
candy.
in the group, do you get prosecuted just because you're in the group at the
Who's
door?
To say?
Crazy.
Well, apparently Chesapeake isn't alone.
Oh, my.
Apparently in Norfolk, Virginia, Portsmouth, and Suffolk, it's also against the law for anyone older than 12 to trick or treat.
No kidding. I've never heard this before.
Virginia's all over.
Breaking news on Q Talk
Yeah.
America.
In fact, in Newport News and Norfolk, they can be found guilty of a Class 4 misdemeanor,
That's just
which
fucking
would
dumb.
only involve a fine, of course. Like misdemeanors. Are,
Yeah.
okay.
Give me all your candy, kid.
Going door to door to candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock on the door and somebody willingly gives you a Butterfinger.
Yep.
That's illegal.
That's the law. That's
the
all
way-
the
Well, I
books.
mean, it depends on the
portions
butter.
of tonight's show sponsored by Fun Size
By
Butterfinger.
Butterfinger.
And chocolate covered raisins.
We need
That's
some
right.
Snickers
Oh,
up in this
I
bitch, is
don't-
what I'm
Would
saying.
you like to try one?
Sure, give me some raisins. Chocolate covered raisins.
In
They're
my
good.
crack investigating, I don't see a history for this law or where it became any kind of.
Oh, some fucking curmudgeon.
Oh
It
yeah.
had to have been.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't want those. Get off
Yeah.
my lawn.
I do like.
Well,
it.
that's
I do like
dangerously
it.
close to me.
Well,
Yeah.
It is.
we've been meaning to talk to you about it. Many people are saying
Yes.
Clayton the curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Many,
Has
many.
a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
People are speaking.
CNC
Yeah.
bitchy factory.
Curmudgeonly.
People are saying.
Curmudgeonly McKee.
Uh-huh.
People are
People
saying.
are saying. Menti people.
That's funny.
Yep.
The best people are saying it.
The,
The best
That's
people.
Right. Yep.
All the smartest.
That's absurd. That's
Yeah.
absurd. I think that if you have, there were some really, really disrespectful kids that probably like 17.
Oh, there's always some awful
Right.
high schoolers.
Well,
that
I think
come
that's
around.
probably where
that
that
are
law
showing
came
up
from.
like they showed up in the front. This was when we first moved into the house, and they were smoking, standing out on the walkway coming up to the house.
Trick or treat.
I know.
Yeah. Got a,
Hey,
you got
trick or treat.
Do you got a light?
I literally did that.
You have a light?
That was literally me the first 2 years I was with Sharon the boys. Like just wandering down the street smoking a cigarette because we still smoked. No, go say trick or treat.
Yeah, right? But I mean, it's like I might look up and be like, well, but they were standing there, and they're like, yeah, just basically like here, candy.
Yeah.
Now that is that can be a little
Yeah, I think that's what
nerve-wracking.
people are complaining about.
I've turned
I mean-
away before. Like I haven't handed
Yeah.
out candy in quite a few years, but I've looked at some kids that were taller than me and went, no.
No.
Right, and the
Try
thing
the next
is,
fucking
if
house.
you're
Get out of my
if you
face.
are taller and you have a costume on and you're going on and you're I don't care. I'll give
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
give you candy. I don't give
Yeah.
a
But
shit.
you little punks in your jeans
Right,
and your
right,
hoodie,
right,
like get
right.
the fuck off
Yeah.
of my lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're smoking. Who
Get
are you,
outta
James
here.
Dean? No, you're
Right.
not. Fuck you. You don't even know who that is, you prick. So
Wow.
Apparently
Jesus.
we're
We
pro
took a-
teenager
we
I
took
am
here.
not going
Turn.
to Ryder's house.
that's right.
Now,
That's right. Yes.
Now
that was
this
fun
year-
to say.
I'm coming trick or treating your house this year.
Now, I have been given shit for many years because I put the sign on my door
Yeah.
in English and in Spanish that says, I'm sorry, I have no candy. And then I leave because I don't want to deal with any of these kids, right?
Yeah.
This year, I'm changing my ways.
Oh, yay.
Changing my ways.
Oh.
I'm going to hand out the mini fun-sized
God, there you
salads
go.
from Dole.
I like it. I
I'm
like
going to
it.
hand those out. I think it'll be really
Are you
great.
going to put a Bible
Fantastic.
verse with it?
Yes, I will. Actually, I'm gonna hang out a Watchtower pamphlets
There
for
you
the Jehovah's
There you go.
Witnesses.
I
It'll
like
be great.
it. Yep.
Yeah,
All that
it'll
you've
be great.
collected over the years.
Mini
Sure.
salad. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That is.
I guess it's better than
fantastic.
condoms. I mean,
Well, actually, maybe
If they're 18, if they're 18 and up, I'm giving those
Yeah.
out too.
Exactly.
I say put a bowl of condoms out there and just leave.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Let
with
your
a,
parents
with a sign
explain-
that says "Good luck."
Let your parents explain this treat.
Oh.
That's awesome.
They're pumpkin spice flavored.
Pumpkin spice flavored condoms.
Oh, exactly, just like everything else. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm
of
sure.
course they
I'm
do.
sure
If they
there
make a
are.
bacon, they make bacon flavored lube.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
No whip, no foam, latte, hot, cold, whatever, pumpkin spice bullshit condom flavored. Rib for your pleasure.
Oh my
looking it up.
Oh, wow. That's
I'm
fucked
guessing.
up.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Snopes.com. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
No, what are we looking
Be
up?
afraid.
Pumpkin
Marnie.
spice condoms.
Well,
No.
while we're
Marnie.
talking about just stupid fucking
False.
people,
Stupid.
we have.
They're not available anywhere?
Not real.
Damn it.
I bet that if you went to Starbucks and you got a pumpkin spice latte and stuff.
And dipped your condom in
So
it
I'm
and it would
just saying,
taste like
maybe.
pumpkin.
Okay,
You don't know
Marnie,
where-
what have you got?
Nothing. So there's this racist cunt in
Gosh, which one?
Yeah,
well,
really.
No.
Yeah, can you narrow
just
it
the
On
down?
one.
Fox News?
no,
Or-
no. This one is in Oregon.
I'm gonna have to narrow that down a little
Well,
bit.
and what she did, God bless her, was
Racist?
accuse an Asian woman of being illegal
Oh no.
and threatening to call the cops.
That's interesting. We haven't hated the Asians for what, like
I
40
know.
years?
I
50
know.
years?
So I don't know.
Not since the
60
internment
years.
Are
camps
we
in World
like,
War
oh my
II.
God,
God, that's a long time
she
ago.
got
I don't know how to
confused
do
about
math.
the whole
It's equal
Seattle
opportunity
kind of thing?
racism now.
I guess, right? You're different from me.
It's an all skate for racism.
Yeah, right? There you go. So a woman in Portland took to Facebook to
Oregon?
expose a racist. Oregon.
Okay, just checking.
How do you say it?
There's a Portland, Maine too.
I said Oregon.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I said that
I
before.
missed that part.
Racist from Oregon.
Oh, sure.
That's all. There you have it. So she exposed a racist who accused her of illegally crossing the border with her family.
From Asia.
From
Apparently,
China.
she could see it from
China.
her house.
That's Russia.
Selena Carell says that she is normally silent on social media, but the incident on Tuesday night had her left very upset. How dare you call me Mexican? I think is what she screamed. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea, but I'm speculating. It all started when the woman who appears to drive a
Did you get
Hyundai,
did she get
which
egg
I'm
rolls?
not sure. Well, no.
Oh, I do love egg rolls.
Who doesn't?
This woman who
How do you
appears
like
to
better
drive a
egg rolls?
Hyundai, and I'm not sure how that's
Relevant
important,
to the story.
but made fun of Carol's eyes in a mock Asian accent. Apparently, the woman who was maybe they're trying to make the point that here she was driving an Asian car. I don't know, something.
Or she said, "Why you got no
Oh,
boyfriend?
why you got no boyfriend
Why
in
you
your
got no
Asian
boyfriend?
car?
You came in on time. Where your friend? Where your friend?
Oh my
You know, get your nail done too."
God. Oh my God.
Marnie, come back.
She can't breathe.
Marnie, come back. We need the rest of your story. We see you're crying, but we can't move on without you.
Marty, come back. Light rock, yacht rock. This is light rock
You
here.
can blame it all
Wow.
on me.
It was Doug.
You want Buffalo Shine?
Derailed
You want Buffalo
this
Shine?
new story.
You pick color. You pick color.
Asian nail tech.
Do it again.
She's the one that makes Barn cry. It's so wrong.
Looking like a man. You looking like a man.
And we can't move on without you.
Okay, composure.
Good luck, everybody. I'm gonna merge in traffic. Good luck.
Wait, suddenly now you're Miss Swan.
Yeah, that was Miss Swan.
I've changed everything. Everything is one now. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Is this a gay
Anyway,
Emmy Award winning.
so the woman, the racist,
Sure.
took out her phone. It was
Oh,
a
no.
Samsung.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
know. And she was going to record, the Asian who crossed the border. She was the one to pull out the phone first, saying this should go on Instagram, and started recording me.
Smart.
I literally just got back to my car from some Voodoo Donuts and just wanted to go home.
Voodoo donuts
For
are
real.
good.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
fantastic.
good donuts.
So this bitch, in the clip that
It's her Christian
Carol,
name.
yeah, exactly. She filmed. The woman can be heard challenging her legal status before insulting her parents. This is what we've gotten to. Before you say anything, you might want to make sure you're actually legal. The woman said, "I'm gonna call the cops to let them know. I'm gonna call the cops." Yeah, it's stupid. Oh, white woman. The Asian who crossed the border. She asked about what. So what are you gonna call the cops about?
We're fresh off the boat.
Why? Exactly, right?
Fresh
How
off
do
the
I
boat,
cross the
baby.
border? That you're illegals crossing the border, the woman snapped back, and your parents probably had to work for fucking dirt just to get here.
But they work, goddammit, they work.
The post quickly went viral,
Downhill.
attracting more than 400,000 views, 6,000
Wow.
shares, and 2,000 comments as of this writing. I will never let this pass and want to make sure this kind of behavior is seen and how people of color encounter this all the time. I want to make sure that she gets seen and her racist, ignorant behavior is exposed. Facebook users dug the internet to find information about the woman. Many have come to identify her as Sierra Dawn. She has the measles. I think that's her last name. It's like measles. Measles.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, see, she's just a big fucking disease.
You got a chicken pox? You got a chicken pox? You want the shitty chicken or the shitty ride? The shitty beef?
This could go on forever. And I'm not mad about it.
I just love on South Park, the only Asian restaurant is called City Walk.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, you want the city beef or the shitty walk? The shitty chicken? The shitty walk.
Did you see this most recent South Park?
I haven't watched the season yet.
It is. Oh
It's
my!
off the
Are you
rail.
kidding me?
Oh, I love it though. I've watched the season.
Sorry, Marty, but
I don't care.
if I may,
You may.
And you may.
They did.
it's so. This one is the most outrageous one I've ever seen. It's
In
but
25 years of this show?
No, I'm not kidding you. It's the priest fucking kids. It's amazing. And the one before that is both shocking. And they're running a hashtag now that when it starts every show saying cancel South Park.
Cancel South
Yeah.
Park,
So
yes.
this like
I've
they're,
seen that.
the story that I read said that they're actually trying to see how far they can go because they're actually
Oh.
they're saying like look where our society is. It's
Right.
like a poke back like try to cancel us because what's happening in the country is more disgusting than the mirror we're holding up.
Than a cartoon.
Than a cartoon.
Right, that we're doing.
But even I was like this week I was like
Oh my god.
I cannot believe that is on the air.
You've
got to watch it.
Continue with your shitty story.
Oh, so I'm gonna find her on mugshots. This Dawn with the measles gal, but people were finding her on Instagram and finding her on Facebook, and apparently she's now
Yeah.
gotten rid
Not
of
very
those.
popular.
Can't
No.
imagine.
Wait, how are you spelling her last name? Though?
We'll find her.
MEASELLE. Sierra Dawn has the measles.
Oh, Sierra Dawn Miso.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh wait, this is her.
Is she blondish?
No.
Oh, well, maybe she's changed her hair because obviously she had in this picture.
In the
'cause that
video,
ain't real.
Michelle tells Selena Carriel that she's an illegal and her parents work
Yeah.
for dirt.
Yep.
Oh, she's special.
Yep.
No, she's not blonde. She.
Oh, she is.
She's actually pretty.
Well, she is there, but then you go to.
She's pretty in 2 ways. Pretty ugly and pretty apt to stay that way.
And pretty racist.
There's that.
That's right. She's pretty racist
Wonder-
for
hang on.
sure.
Let me see if oh, by the way, on Amazon, I found this shirt. They've got that for sale.
I love it.
Oh
That's smart.
my
It is.
Shirt.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I googled. I did Amazon pumpkin spice condom, and that came up.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I like it.
Incidentally,
Oh.
as we're referencing back to the condom flavors, stand by because I found some actual condom flavors.
Oh boy.
While pumpkin spice is some bullshit, listen to
Bacon.
this.
Oh,
You can
boy.
get a coffee flavored condom, a scotch flavored condom, a weed flavored condom. You can get garlic on your condom,
Oh.
bacon.
Oh.
Bacon. Yep, that's
Yeah.
the one.
Bacon, bacon. It sounds like bacon on bacon.
Durian, which if you don't know, it's like an exotic superfruit that smells like ass.
Oh.
Tobacco flavored condoms. Like there's some weird shit out there.
There
guys.
is some
No
weird shit out
kidding.
there.
Oy.
Well, remember this is the one we played before. This one. Well, but here.
Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! Bacon, 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 bacon! There! It's bacon!
That's such a great. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Okay, so I found the picture.
Ah.
Here's
you.
our friend. What's her name? Miss Measles.
Yeah, that's
her.
measles.
That's her.
Yep. That's
She
the
seems-
the
she seems
racist
She
looks like a real
measles.
bitch.
Well,
looks about
that's
right.
her. That's her dyed hair.
Yeah.
Because the
She's a
other.
bitch.
It's a wig.
Oh, the wee. The wee.
Oh,
love
thank
the
you for that
wig.
laugh. Because I apologize for just losing my shit. But
That's
that was
Well,
not
we
it.
lost Asians 7 years ago on this show. So
Yeah,
we're
we
there.
I
did.
wrote it
Yeah.
down. I feel like I wrote it down.
Yo,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
actually,
that
I think
was
it
one
happened
of the
before
first
you.
people,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
Buddy had to write it down back when we started.
Yep. And
But
then
we
that's.
just we
didn't
just
like
keep
writing things
we
down
keep
either.
solidifying the people who aren't
Just keep-
listening to us.
Well, you know we're playing to our base.
Oh, yeah,
That's true.
I hear that that's
Yeah.
very popular.
Ugh.
Yep.
You just keep playing the victim, and apparently they just rise up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the base loves it. The base
The
loves
base
it.
all loves
loves
it.
it.
That's
the
right. Yep.
base. Oh, I like the base.
It's all
Look at
about the base.
It looked like
Yeah.
a mushroom in the
No,
base.
no.
Okay, okay. Who's so it's Doug?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
On
done.
to Doug.
Yeah,
Doug.
all done.
Sure.
Whip it out,
So,
Doug.
well,
No, no,
all right.
no, no.
Did
So
he just say whip it out?
Yes, whip
Yeah.
it, whip it good.
there's a flaming hole.
That's-
There's what?
Flame-
Okay.
There's a flaming hole in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yep, it's a hole in the ground, and
Yep.
it was flaming. And here,
What-
no,
what was his
okay,
name?
and so here,
Wow.
this is the there's a Baxter County judge, Mickey
His name was
Pendergrass,
Brandon.
and he said, "Could it be Satan?" And then he said, "Well, no, we've ruled that out. He didn't just come up and stick his pitchfork in the ground and blow that hole out."
Oh my.
The gay puns are
Okay.
getting real bad
Okay.
up in
This
here.
is
Oh.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Keep going because I do love
so
the puns. Al would be
it's-
over
yeah,
it, but
I
I
know.
love it.
I-
It's my
I do too.
favorite. Yeah.
So the Arkansas Geological Survey checked out the hole and said it was created by an animal. And the investigation
And
ruled
the
out.
animals learned how to use fire. Wait a minute, because this is
Right.
breaking fucking news.
It
If the
is.
animals have mastered
Right.
fire, we're
Yep.
fucked.
So my favorite thing, and that's it. That's the whole story. But
I
my
love
favorite
it.
thing about that is that it was a judge that had to come out to say we've ruled
Yeah,
out
we've
Satan,
ruled out that.
because that was
my
on the
God.
spectrum of possibilities.
Of course it was.
So that was just a short
Not
one
today,
for you.
Satan.
Clayton.
Well, I was googling
Googling?
flaming hole
Well,
Arkansas.
be careful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I can
found-
believe that could be a problem.
I just found one of the headlines that says, "What caused 8-foot flames to shoot out of Arkansas
Yeah,
hole?"
that's it.
Not the devil.
Nope.
Oh,
Not
God.
the
No,
devil.
not Satan.
Not today, Satan.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Not today.
Not gonna happen. That's good stuff. I'm not going to Arkansas.
Well, judges ruled on this next story. They had to because this
Judges.
Good segue.
this guy won. Baseball's Fall Classic focuses on an American pastime, and who doesn't love this? A Maine ski resort has its own Fall Classic based on a Finnish tradition. More than 30 teams from Maine to California participated last Saturday in the North American Wife Carrying Championship.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
I feel like this should be an old-timey news guy sound. Really. The
Good.
event on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, good call.
It should be.
Yeah.
The event at the Sunday River Ski Resort featured male competitors competing on a 278-yard obstacle course while carrying a woman or female, depending on how you identify. The legend behind the event is based on Finland's Ronakeen the Robber, whose gang was known to pillage villages and take the women. Jesse Wall and Christine Arsenault won the event for their efforts. For the efforts, the South Paris couple received Arsenault's weight in beer and 5 times her weight in cash. It was the second win for the Wall and Arsenault team, earning them another trip to participate in the World Championships in Finland. The woman's weight was not released.
Oh my God. That's fantastic.
They're not going to tell us how much money or beer they won. She may be full-figured or full-bodied, as the beer would be too.
Oh.
Don't know, just guessing.
I do love Scandinavians and their sports.
Oh my God.
So weird.
Oh,
And that has
is-
been a thing for like
If it
ever,
weren't for
right?
that voice.
That wife carrying thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I remember that like for 30
Viking
years.
thing.
Mhm.
I can't carry a jug of water across a parking lot. How am I going to carry
I
Myrtle?
wonder, do you think she
Good thing
like
you don't
gained
have a wife,
weight?
I guess.
So, do you think she gained weight so that they would get more
the
money,
prize
or
package?
does that make it harder for him to carry
She
her?
was
See, there's a
bu-
lot
She
going
was
on here.
bulking up.
There's bulking up, but then that would
There's
make
gotta
him
be a
harder.
Venn diagram there.
There's
Yeah,
no,
right.
that's it. Oh my God! Thank
Right.
you for loving Venn diagrams
Yeah.
as much as I do. What's the Venn diagram strategy on the heavier she gets, the harder it is to win? So you don't want to be too heavy because then you'll lose.
Well, he
but
has
then
to-
you win.
No.
But the heavier is, you get more money.
But-
Super good. Venn
But
diagram.
they what they do is they work together. He starts.
Cat's not doing a good job.
He
tonight.
starts carrying her lighter, and as he has to continue to carry her in practice as she gets heavier, so that when she gets to her optimum weight for the cash money beer prize.
Oh, there's a training
there's a
period.
Oh, there,
training.
there has to be.
Regimen. There's a
You
regimen.
just don't go from 0 to carrying heavy people.
Yeah, sure.
I was trying to edit that. I was
Yeah.
trying to edit that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect anybody to come and just from 0 to now start carrying me somewhere.
Yeah.
There's going to be a rolling in a chair
rolling,
start.
rolling into
Just
it.
start, like maybe.
Maybe a
Nobody
strong
picking
hug.
my
Can you
fat
start?
ass up,
Right?
I'll tell you right now.
Can you lift me off the floor for a couple seconds? Let's
Can't.
start with that.
No,
Can
can't.
you hug me
Start
tightly?
with
Right. Right.
No.
No.
Oh my
is
God!
not okay.
It's not. It's
Not
not.
even a
It's
little
not
bit.
okay at all.
It's
No.
not.
No.
Well, here's something slightly less in weight to round out our lovely headlines segment of the show. A Michigan man curious about a rock that he'd used for decades as a doorstop now knows its secrets. It's a meteorite, and it's worth $100,000.
Oh wow!
In fact, the nearly 23-pound hunk of iron and nickel is the 6th largest meteorite found in Michigan, according to the Smithsonian Museum and Central Michigan University. David Mazurek said he took his doorstop to the university for examination after seeing reports this past January of meteorite pieces selling for thousands of dollars. Quote, I said, wait a minute, I wonder how much my doorstop's worth. University geology professor Mona Sirbescu first identified the piece as more than just a rock. She said she then sent 2 small slices of the rock to the Smithsonian for confirmation. The quote is, I could tell right away that this was something special, she said. It was the most valuable specimen I have ever held in my life, monetarily and scientifically. Mazurek said the meteorite came with a barn he bought in 1988 in Edmore, which I guess is a city in Michigan. He said the farmer who sold him the property told him that it landed in his backyard in the 1930s. The story goes that it was collected immediately after they witnessed the big boom, and the actual meteorite was dug out of a crater. Michigan meteorite lands in Field Museum Laboratory. I'm sorry, that was a different. My bad. What typically happens at this point is the meteorites can either be sold and shown in a museum or sold to collectors and sellers looking to make a profit off of them. The Smithsonian and the Mineral Museum in Maine are considering purchasing the specimen. Mazurek said that when he sells his meteorite, he'll donate some of the money back to the university. I think that's a
lovely.
cute one.
That's
But
really good.
here, by the way, here's a picture of the 23-pound rock
Oh wow!
that again they just been using as a doorstop.
Yep. $100,000 doorstop.
$100,000. Isn't that crazy?
Looks like a rock to me.
It is. But hey, I'd be happy to have a 23-pound
So
rock
you-
pay for my house.
No shit.
Seriously.
Be happy to have anybody pay for my house. You
Yeah.
want to pay for my house?
I
I'm
do
in.
not.
Find a meteor.
Just in
Anywhere?
case.
I'll stop by.
Sure. Yeah, please do.
I'll stop by and be, look at your house.
Oh, look at
Kat.
the house.
Glad
There it
you
is.
got a job.
Yeah. Yep.
Glad you got something. Now,
Me too.
horrible segue. Do we have any entertainment stuff we want to do?
Well,
If you do, we
I'm
can-
unprepared in that regard.
But can you make the
We could
point is, can
probably-
you make stuff up, Doug?
Well,
That's-
I was gonna lean on
Yes.
the Gaga movie, but
Oh,
Kat,
I blew
Kat
that out of the
obsessed
water.
it.
I
but
just
that's okay.
stole
We'll
your-
think,
Come
I can.
on.
I'll just think
Let's
of something
bullshit,
on the
come on.
fly.
I've got some shit.
what are we going to talk about?
Get this. The AMAs are still a thing, and they happened.
They're on. Yeah,
Yeah.
tonight,
Yeah,
tonight,
Dick
right?
Clark
We can hear
died.
about it. I think they're on
So we
like
can talk about
tonight.
that.
Right. So I have that.
The Connors
And-
start tonight.
Does
Oh,
it?
did it?
That's lovely.
Yep.
That started
Grey's
tonight.
Anatomy started last week.
Yep.
That's a thing that happens for
A
15
million
fucking
A
years.
Million Little Things is supposed to be phenomenal.
Entertainment is awful when Al's not here.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get through it somehow.
We'll figure it out.
Somehow.
Somehow
Murphy
we'll do
Brown
it.
started.
Okay, let's do a dance number.
Anyway, we'll be back with entertainment, two things, and more right after this.
I gotta tell you, I'm a Yelper, and you're not gonna get a good review.
You're listening to Hugh Talk America.
I don't know why.
So during the break, Marnie has learned that she cannot figure out how to work her phone.
I don't know.
There's volume,
The struggle is real.
and Doug walked in the kitchen and dropped a wine glass.
I did.
He feels bad about it, but I'm thankful because now I had 9 of the short wine glasses. Now I only have 8, which is good because
With your OCD.
the symmetry of the cabinet is nice because 2 rows of
Yeah,
4
exactly.
are better than 2 rows in an odd one.
You know, I'm here to help, Clayton.
You're doing a good job.
Am I the first cast member to break anything?
Yep.
No, I feel like over 7 years,
I've never broken it.
I've never.
Okay.
we've had a lot of technical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're going to try to get to entertainment with Kat and Doug and whatever the hell we're going to talk about. So good luck to you all.
All right, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Apparently, the American Music Awards are still a thing, and apparently they happened tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
no.
really?
What is with the award shows
With,
getting some
that
shit
Ross,
ass
whatever Ross's daughter. Help me.
Tracy Ellis Ross?
Bingo.
Yeah, yeah. But weren't the Emmys on a really shitty night too? Like, weren't they on like Monday at 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lord, nobody cares about award shows anymore. Why do we keep having them? In any event, so now we have something to
good
talk
question.
about. Right.
That's why they have them.
So that we have something to
Yeah.
talk about
So
on this
we-
podcast.
When
Right,
Al's
exactly.
gone.
Thank you, American Music Academy.
They're doing their job.
My God. Well, with the midterm elections around the corner and voter registration deadlines looming in many states, in fact, I believe today is Arizona's. So if you're listening and you're in Arizona, go fucking check
Register
your shit
to
out
vote.
before midnight. Do it. Do it now, or we won't like you anymore.
All right.
So much
Fuck
to
off.
do.
In any event, the AMA host this year was Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana
I like
Ross's
her.
daughter.
All
I
right.
love her. I love her a
And
lot.
her wonky eye.
Whatever.
That's what I would say.
Everybody's
She
got
wears
kind of a
it well.
wonky eye. I know a lot
No,
of
I
people
know.
with kind of a
I
lazy
like her.
eye.
No.
She can read 2 scripts at once.
That's exactly right. She can read the
Smarter
script
than
and
you.
watch the door.
Smarter than you. Yeah, starring on that show Blackish, which is delightful
It's
and
so
fun.
good. Such a good show. Al turned me
And-
onto that show too.
And Hulu forgot that I watched the whole thing, so it's making me start from the beginning. Like, it's making me. But every time I finish
It is
something else,
making
it's
you.
like,
Oh.
here's another episode of Blackish. I'm like,
Okay.
what
Can't
just
you
happened?
skip or
Oh,
do-
of course I can.
Oh, I don't know how where the Hulu
I'd have
works.
to pick up the remote.
Netflix does
Oh.
the same thing now when the episode when the show ends.
Oh, does it start something else? I know
Oh.
it starts a trailer of
Well,
something else.
What it'll do, because I've been watching Unbreakable Kimmy, I'm like a year behind, and I'll
Mm.
watch it. And when it ended, it used to say,
J'approve.
you know, do you want to do the and now it says next episode starting in 10
There's
seconds.
a-
Right,
there's
They're
a
trying to
setting
hook you
somewhere.
into not leaving.
I needed.
It keeps me from
Yeah.
picking up the remote,
I
which
know.
I greatly enjoy.
Exactly.
Because I'm just,
I don't know that I want to be force fed everything.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I
Just
didn't
keep
li- I
feeding me.
didn't like it.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Well, in any event,
Were they
Tracy
talking
Ellis
about
Ross
politics?
put her clothing where her priorities are. In one of her many outfit changes,
See if I can find
she
pictures.
detoured from the official
Yeah.
proceedings to note that she's registered to vote while wearing an "I am a voter" T-shirt.
Nice.
I
So I
love
feel
it.
like we all need those.
Nice.
So we'll make some.
I have one at home.
She wasn't
I'm
the
gonna
only
do
one
that.
who brought politics on stage during his acceptance speech for soul R&B male. Khaled added a few words of support to Beto O'Rourke from Texas, who is running to unseat Ted Cruz. He says, "Before I go, shout out to the 915 to El Paso, Texas. Shout out Beto, thank you."
Nice.
Then there was Taylor Swift.
Big
Period.
story.
The
That's
end
been a
of
big
right.
story.
She's
That
been,
has
yeah,
been a big
today has
story.
been that's been a big story.
Well, she kicked off today's show with a smoking performance of "I Did Something Bad" in front of a massive snake, which I won't be watching.
No,
No,
we don't need
no.
snakes on
Burn
shows.
that shit out. The last time I saw a snake in the house, I
No.
moved.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
not
would.
kidding.
No, I would
No,
move.
no, I would too. I
Because
would
that
too.
means there's more of them.
Yep.
I
Oh.
know.
She also jumped into the political fray towards the end of the show after winning Artist of the Year, because of course Taylor Swift is Artist of the fucking year.
Every
Yeah,
year.
of course she is. Every year, yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
The pop star.
But she just got a bunch of shit ton of young people to
I
register
like
to
that.
vote.
Yeah.
I like the ugh you did.
I totally agree.
That was literally that was painful.
Taylor Swift.
I know.
Ugh.
She's Artist of the Year. There's nobody better than
By the way-
Taylor motherfucking Swift.
I know.
By the way, picture Tracy Ellis Ross and her mother,
Oh my
Diana Ross.
God.
And what I like about this picture is Diana Ross is not going to be outdone by her
No.
daughter.
No, she would.
I'm 70. Fuck you.
No,
I'm
she
still Diana.
she still stole that photograph.
I'm Miss Ross. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
And she still looks good.
Yeah, if you had that surgeon, you could too.
No.
Sure.
Yep.
Buy anything.
Yeah, like Jane Fonda.
Okay, so what happened?
In any event, after Artist of the Year, the pop star noted that the AMAs are voted on by the people. She says, "You know who else is voted on by the people?"
Oh no!
Well
I'm
done.
liking her more and more.
What a fucking segue.
Right.
Well done.
She should be on this show.
I
Yeah.
know. She said the
Call her
midterm,
up.
the midterm elections on November 6th. Get out and vote.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Now, you may have noticed in the news on Sunday, Taylor finally expressed a political opinion because she was notably silent in 2016. So this Sunday, she endorsed her first political candidate while denouncing the Tennessee Republican Marsha Blackburn,
Who's
Yep.
a
who's
bitch?
awful,
Yeah.
saying Blackburn's
horrible
voting
bitch.
record in Congress appalls and terrifies me. In her letter on Instagram, Swift threw her support behind Democrat Phil Bresden, as well as incumbent Democrat Jim Cooper in the House race. She also newly encouraged her followers to register and vote. If it takes
That's
Taylor
right.
Swift to get young people to
No.
vote,
I'm in.
I'm fucking in.
Yep.
Did you hear what Dick Bag and Chief said?
Oh yeah, he
He
already
likes her
responded.
music 25% less now.
25%. Does he understand what
He's
25%
a
means?
fucking
And did you see
moron.
what Mike Huckabee fuckhead said?
No.
Well, it would matter if 13-year-old girls could vote. Never mind that her Taylor Swift's first hit was 8 years ago.
Right.
You know, the fans
Do
aren't.
the math.
They've
just
grown up.
figure it out.
They're old enough for you to molest them. They're
Yeah,
old
exactly,
enough to fucking vote.
exactly.
It was
right.
interesting to hear some of the commentary of people who, because there was belief for a very long time because she didn't comment it was
She's a
believed that she
Republican.
was a closeted
Yeah. Yep,
conservative.
I saw the
yada
same
yada
thing.
yada yada.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So to listen to the commentary of some of the people who are big Taylor Swift fans,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish that she would have kept this to herself, and I wish that she wouldn't have gotten into the mix with all this. Da, da, da. And I'm like, yeah, because what she just did was rally the base that you don't want to have,
Right.
that you want
Right.
to shut out.
Right.
Right.
If it's college kids, if it's
Yeah.
minorities, if anybody.
Yeah.
You just don't want somebody as popular as her. And it was interesting to hear the other ones just like,
Moaning
oh,
and
God, I just
groaning.
wish she would never
I
have gotten
know,
into
right?
this.
Why
Well,
did
that's
she
that's
have
always
to-
the thing. When celebrities get into politics, the people that don't want young people to vote are like, "Oh, celebrities should mind their own business."
Right,
and
exactly.
Just fucking play basketball.
Now-
We don't
Yeah,
care about.
right.
If she would have come out about she was happy that dumbass just got into the
Right.
Supreme
Yeah.
Court,
Or came out in support of
and all
Marsha
this,
Blackburn.
or she doesn't believe in abortion, or all these other things. Everybody, this is why we need celebrities
Yeah,
to
they
rally
would
the
have
base.
loved it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucktards.
Yeah, he I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about Blackbird. And then he added with a laugh, let's say that I like Taylor's music about, he said 25% less now. Okay.
Actually,
and then walked away.
He
Shut
doesn't even
the
know what
fuck
25% is.
He doesn't know one of her songs.
But actually, what I think she does know about her, because what I think, isn't she from Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So what was really smart about what she did is she didn't chime in about. This is what I like about
She
this
didn't say
Taylor
anything
Swift thing.
outside of.
She didn't go
Yeah.
after Kavanaugh. She
Uh-huh.
didn't talk about Trump. She talked about
Her
her
home
own
state.
place. So he
Right.
can fuck off, because she started with what's important. You know what matters to her. So
That's right.
good for her.
And to be honest, I
I
don't
don't
really
like
give a
Artist of
shit
the
at
Year,
all what
but-
Taylor Swift says about anything, period, because I don't really care for her music or anything
And
else.
your mom likes her.
Well, I think she's
100%
speaking as a
less,
woman,
but-
though, who hates
Right.
Marsha
But-
Blackburn's
yeah.
anti-misogynistic fucking shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm in.
It just
Yeah.
The point was
I'm
that
in.
she's
The
willing
message
to,
is good.
but
It's a good message from it's a responsible message.
there was an issue though with someone else that she was supporting, and they said that they would, or maybe it was this president said he would have supported Kavanaugh and backed that. So they're trying to spin it
Yeah.
like, oh, so she is for Kavanaugh,
Yeah, oh god.
and it's like, okay, well,
No,
shut the fuck
that's
up.
him being a politician.
That's
Yeah.
happened, guys.
Right.
Like
Okay,
it's
so
happened.
that
It's
happened.
over.
It's done, right?
The Kavanaugh thing is
That's
not
exactly
a thing anymore.
right.
All right, Doug, dig something up so I can look up some more shit.
So you were talking about the Connors starting.
Yeah.
And
Was
I did
right,
see.
wrong? No?
And
I
that
don't
was
know.
tonight. You
That's
said
what
that.
I
I don't think
thought.
so, because
It may be next
Okay.
week.
Okay.
it's coming back. So
Right.
I did see. I didn't read the story, but I saw something that said that Laurie Metcalf and Sarah Gilbert had reached out to Roseanne
Oh.
to reconnect, and that Roseanne hadn't responded.
Okay.
Oh.
And then the other interesting thing about Sarah Gilbert, so I don't know. I mean, so you know the show The Talk?
Yeah.
The other one with
Yep.
and Julie
Julie
Chen left.
Yep.
Well, wait,
So-
Julie Chen Moonves now.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now she's using
Moonves.
all the names.
Oh, okay.
All the
Oh,
names.
that's she is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, she
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Oh, that's
The
very
day- the-
interesting.
The day after he got
Yeah.
accused, she went
I
full name.
didn't know that.
Full name.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So I just thought this was weird. So I know the Talk. I mean, it's not like the biggest. It's not the biggest show in the world, but still.
Yeah.
And so on the day she left, I DVR'd it just because I was like, I want to hear how they handle the fallout. And Sarah Gilbert came on and she's like, well, when I created the show, I was blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you created the show?
That's her
the-
show.
the-
I know. So how did she get the money to do that?
Hold on. Are you talking about the Connors?
No,
or
I'm sorry.
the
I'm sorry. I
Roseanne?
segued.
The
No,
Talk?
We jumped ship.
I jumped over to. It's about Sarah Gilbert, but
Yeah.
no, she created the show The Talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
okay.
did but
Sarah
how
Gilbert
does
did.
Sarah Gilbert have that kind of money?
Roseanne residuals.
Roseanne.
Okay, there's that much. Oh,
There's
it's
that
all.
much
It's
money.
wait,
It's been
all.
in syndication for 20
It's
years.
all coming back. So
And she's a
remember.
power- she's a power
Vaseline
lesbian.
Young.
So but hang on. So remember. Okay, so
Oh
that's
yeah,
interesting.
she's got a famous wife too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hey. Yay.
Yeah.
Linda.
Something.
Linda.
So remember when we were talking about the
Linda.
residuals in syndication, and when we were talking about Cosby,
Yeah.
and how that would
Right.
affect people,
Right.
So when the Roseanne thing, this is interesting because I have insomnia, so I'm up late at night. So when the Roseanne thing happened, TV Land and the other one that runs them at night in
Nick at
syndication,
Night.
Nick at Night, killed them. They were like, no more
Right.
Roseanne.
Right.
So
Linda Perry.
So what I noticed was last week they were back on.
Which one?
This is Roseanne is back in syndication.
Okay.
Really?
It's interesting, isn't that? They got rid of it, and then they brought it back. I just
Well,
think that's
our
interesting.
attention span is this big.
That's what I mean.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
there's
are the Cosby ones going to come back, or So I just thought that was interesting.
I think
Oh,
Cosby's
wow.
a different crime.
Thanks for
think-
that statistic.
Oh
Mom.
no,
I
that's
didn't know that.
definitely different. What? Oh yeah. See,
Wow.
thank you, Mama Di.
100,000 voter
Yes,
registrations noted
nice.
since Swift's announcement.
Wow.
Nice.
That's nice.
That's a lot.
Thanks, Mom. Dad.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
I was just curious about Sarah
No,
Gilbert. It was just
we
interesting. I never
think
knew
we
all
talked
that.
about it last week, and I realized you weren't here last week with us. But one of the things that I had mentioned
Way to
was
not show up for work, Doug.
I know.
the thing about
They're gonna dock my pay.
the unfortunate thing about the Cosby Show not being. Now, granted, I know Al didn't. He never thought the Cosby Show was good or funny, and I always
I
did.
did,
I always
yeah.
enjoyed it.
I've seen every episode 700 times.
Yeah.
But what bugs me about it is obviously all of those actors and actresses spent a lot of time creating what I thought was a quality show. That's
And so
their
did they.
career. That's their residual. That's their life.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's them investing in themselves.
Bad.
So for me personally, I don't have an issue with them replaying the shows. However, I want whatever resids that
He
Cosby should have got go to women's shelters.
Absolutely.
Or they go to
Awareness of sexual harassment.
However
Yeah,
they do it.
of course.
Because I'm thinking, I don't want Felicia Rashad, Malcolm Joel
Yeah.
Warner,
and the
I
guy
can't
that was on the TV that was working at Trader Joe's.
Right. I don't want
Right.
all of them to get shafted out of whatever's coming to them because they didn't
I agree.
fuck up.
I agree.
The
but
October 16th is the episode.
So it's
airing
next
for the
week.
con-
So it's
Okay.
next
My bad.
Tuesday.
All right.
So-
Interesting.
So again, for Roseanne, I always enjoyed the show before.
Yeah.
I always did. Again, Al
I'd
didn't.
be okay if she came back.
I was kind of hit or miss with it.
I liked
I,
it.
did, I like some of the humor. I thought it was
I
fine.
did too. And I just
And maybe
I
it's
like
because I
back, I'm
come from
sorry.
the
I like
come from
John
the
Goodman
the original
and-
Roseanne series. I
John
enjoyed it.
Goodman and Laurie Metcalf were worth
Oh, yeah.
watching
Right.
every episode of that
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
because
So
their
I have
acting
no
is
problem
so
with
good.
that coming. I get why ABC distanced themselves from Roseanne. I get that. Blah blah blah. However, the older shows, again, the older shows when she didn't
Yeah.
do whatever she did. Again,
Yeah.
those residuals, and if they want to divert funds and make them go to whatever charity, I don't care. But the Laurie Metcalf, the John Goodman, and all of the other Sarah Gilbert, all the other characters.
Yeah.
That's their livelihood. And I
Yeah.
don't think that it's fair that they take them down and not show them
Mm-hmm.
because of something somebody else did. There's got to be some sort of and I would venture to guess that probably, and Al would probably be somebody who would know this, in future contract negotiations, I would guess
They might be writing that in
would be
now.
a writer in it.
Yeah.
If you fuck up and you
Yeah.
do something that makes us pull you as a character, the show goes on, but from then on out, all of your monies, I'm sure there's got to be some that they're going
Yeah,
to do.
they'll look at this.
Right. I mean,
sure.
if you say something horrible about animals, PETA get your money.
Yeah.
Or if you do something horrible against a certain race, or you say something against a political thing, I figure that they're going
Like
to
a
work
morals
something.
clause.
Right. That morals clause is a big
Yeah,
deal.
right.
I figure they're going to work some way on somehow.
Yep.
I'm not sure how, but they'll do
And
it.
it says as after a sudden turn of events, the end. I mean, like it doesn't go any further. Just the Connor family is forced to face the daily struggles of life in a way they never have before.
Right, because Roseanne dies of an opioid
Right.
overdose.
Oh, I don't remember that
Yeah,
part.
they're gonna.
Do you recall?
They're gonna
Did
kill
you
her.
watch the series when it came back?
Nope.
Okay,
I
so
didn't.
what had happened in the series, Roseanne was facing a knee replacement. And that was the storyline. But the thing was, she was, I guess, shopping pharmacist.
She was taking opiates.
She had multiple prescriptions that weren't hers. She was taking more than she was actually
Which
prescribed.
is a good thing to do because that's a news story that was in
Yeah,
the
But
news.
with
Right.
us, with
Laser
our
focus
laser
on the
focused
opioid
finger
attack.
on the pulse of the
Yeah.
opioid,
Yeah.
she dies of an opioid overdose in the Connors. That's how they off her.
Right.
So the turn of events is
I'm
that.
intrigued. I didn't
And
when
it's
they
topical.
said that. I was
It's
like,
topical because
Yeah.
Middle America, well, all of the country, but there are certain areas like isn't Ohio one of the big
Huge,
ones?
Do you want to hear a
huge.
shocking statistic?
They're dealing with all that, so that's it's a timely
Yeah,
topic
oh,
with that.
absolutely,
But
yeah.
that's how they
More
offer.
people have died of opioid
Yep.
overdose
It's hard to
deaths.
say. We know.
Well, it's hard to say on your third glass of wine,
Yeah.
and I already broke a glass too. Then died.
That
of,
was
then,
you?
Then have died of AIDS in
Wow.
the U.S.
No shit.
Yeah,
And do you know
not
what it-
worldwide, but in the U.S.
But do you know what that reminds
Wow,
me of
that's-
as
it
well?
should
that's
blow your
crazy.
mind.
So
Yeah.
that correlation.
And that's
we were,
30 some odd years, 35 years,
that's
40
right.
years.
we
That's
were
right.
watching 2020 episode about the opioid crisis,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how with Prince and how fentanyl
Right?
Yes,
was
right.
the killer and the whole thing. And you know, when Al has been talking about it, because you know he is our rogue reporter concerning that. Laser focused, and the finger on the pulse. It was riveting.
I don't know
watching
where that
this.
finger's been.
I know, man.
Hey,
That's fair. Hey.
This is a
Good call.
family show.
Anyway,
Pick your family.
right? It was
could be a family, you don't
riveting
know.
watching this
Oh, yeah.
2020
It's
episode.
shocking.
Because what was happening, one person, right? So go back to the AIDS crisis. This was something that I looked at Aaron. I'm like, this is startlingly parallel, because now people are kind of back to have sex with whomever, because there's all kinds of really good medicine, so it doesn't
Right.
fucking matter. And
STDs are
yay,
going
right,
up
right,
again.
Right.
And same thing with this.
But the young
opioid
kids are back
kinda
to
stuff.
it'll never happen to me. They're not
Exactly.
scared.
That's what I
They're
mean.
not
Right,
scared anymore.
right.
I'm invincible.
Right.
Yeah, and with this opioid stuff, right? I was so taken by this whole thing. They have people that, and you can buy this shit on Amazon, and you can learn how to mix this shit on the internet, of course, right?
Of course.
And there's for $3,000 you too can have this thing that looks like a Y that mixes once you have the right combination of XYZ, and it'll mix the pill stuff and put it together.
And form the pills for you.
Form the pills, and then you stamp it, and I believe on the internet you can buy the pill stampers. Right? So when you go get a pill and it says like Watson 323 or something for Percocet, right? And that's how you're going to pill identify when you look at something. They have that stamper. And they have the dyes. You can buy all the dyes on the internet to have the
For the
blue
colors.
pills, have the different colors of pills.
Wow.
There was one person who I can't think of the state. I feel like it was Ohio, but I'm probably just making shit up because you said that. Where this one guy, like they took it back to this one gentleman who, forgive me for the number, probably fucking this up, but I'm not really that far out of line if I make it up a little bit. In 24 hours, there were 40 overdoses.
Oh, wow.
And they were able to lead it back to the same
The
guy
same guy,
who
yeah.
manufactured.
Yeah.
And that was after he had left where he had previously been, where his girlfriend died, taking the mixture of. Why are you taking it if you know
Yeah.
he's right? So it's not and from China they're sending the stuff, and they've traced it back. It was Bob who was in Iraq and
Dole.
no
Bob.
the reporter who's like
Sideshow.
amazing. Anyway,
Sideshow Bob. No,
I know, I'm
I
like,
just
huh?
caught that. I just caught
I'm
that.
like, who? Anyway, doesn't he had a roadside bomb, and he's
Bob
a-
Woodward.
Bob Woodward. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
gotcha.
you. Amazing. And he has tracked this, and it went back if I understood it correctly, like it was probably whatever came from there, because they can't do this within China. It's too difficult. But they can smuggle that shit out and bring it
Separately.
to the United States.
They can get out separately, bring it here,
Yeah.
and put it together.
And whatever you can't get from China, you don't need to worry about it, because you can get it from
Wow,
Amazon
It's frightening.
or eBay or whatever.
Because buying the individual product is not illegal.
Right. And the when the raid happened on this gentleman's house, I use that term loosely, after his girlfriend had died from taking one of it was mixed too much, that Y-shaped machine,
right.
that was confiscated, right? That was taken as evidence. Well, it's $3,000 and whatever. So when he moved to the new place and set up shop, someone there was like, "Hey, I'll give you this money and I'll get you going." But they weren't willing to give out $3,000 to get the Y-shaped thing. So brilliantly, they went and they got a gallon an empty gallon pitcher, like a milk carton, and they just started putting all the shit in there and going like this and shaking it up. So there are some pills, and it was all Tylenol otherwise, right? So your liver, right? So you either had, some people would take it and it would be
One
all
dosage.
Tylenol, or
Right.
and some other people might take
Like
it and
Russian
it would be
roulette.
fine. Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow.
And other people were taking solid fentanyl. There was a guy, one of the guys who died, had been in little, like he was just, growing up, little league and all this stuff. And then at 30, it was, a knee kind of thing.
It's
or
always some injury.
an
Yeah.
injury.
Oh yeah, that starts it. Sure.
He and couldn't sleep because of it. It wasn't about pain. It was about sleep anxiety. Sorry, and it was Xanax. It was Xanax, and a buddy of his said, he's like, I can't sleep. So he said, I have a Xanax. You want to try to take that? So they go on and they tell the whole story about how guy took it. Well, he sure slept forever. He died that night after taking this. That one time.
Because it wasn't a Xanax.
It wasn't a Xanax at all. And then they showed the pill. That's right. Because they could. Because he only took a quarter of it.
Wow.
He only took. He had broken off a quarter of it because he wasn't Mr. Pill Taker, and he was nervous about taking the whole thing and his anxiety. He took a quarter of this pill and fucking died.
Wow.
Because it was loaded with fentanyl when they got it back.
Holy shit.
Right. And it was leading back to this same guy. So when we talk about AIDS and how, they can lead it back, and when you watch And the Band Played On, right? And same thing with this motherfucker. They were able to lead it back, and it was startling watching this. 2020.
I record all of them. How long? Which was it last week?
No, I want to say it was a few weeks ago. I'll look it up and tell you what date, but
It's all they're all on my DVR.
yeah, it
I
says
record every week.
there would have been 4 or 5 ago or something, so a
Okay.
few weeks ago. But it was, honest to God, it was riveting, and they talked a lot about Prince.
Right.
And I think people kind of went to, because of the pain, the hip stuff.
Yeah.
That he was pill seeking and just really dumping him down, and it doesn't sound like that. It was, you couldn't get a legitimate
Yeah.
script, and so
You got a
again
bad
he
batch.
went and he got a bad batch and
Wow.
had some, because that's what they're doing. They're mixing it with fentanyl, and I'm not sure why. Why do you want to kill off the people that?
Oh, I don't think they care.
No, but I mean, you're not making that much off per pill.
The fentanyl's real. It's super strong.
Yeah. So why? What I mean is, why wouldn't you want to taper that back so that they keep coming back? I mean, if
I see what you're saying.
if you want to keep making money,
Right.
why are you killing off the people that are going to buy it?
If somebody's looking to get drunk, you make them buy 5 drinks, not the first one.
Correct.
Right.
No.
So.
Yeah. Stretch that out.
Yeah, I don't know. That didn't make sense to me, but none of it makes sense. to me, so.
A lot of this is difficult. It's difficult for me to understand because I've never been a smoker. I've never had a drug issue. I've never done drugs.
Sure.
She likes her. What's that woman on Ellen? I drink a little, but I love Jesus.
I cuss.
But
That's right.
I don't believe in that. I don't even believe in that. But
I drink a little.
But I just, I cannot.
love
I can't imagine fighting with that because I've never been addicted to anything. I don't have any of that. I've never had that fight.
Yeah.
So again, you both used to smoke, and
A lot.
I don't know how you got through or past that.
It's a
My
hard.
mom
That's a
used
hard.
decided to.
That's a
Did you
hard
ever
addiction.
smoke?
Yeah. Oh, I did until '93.
How long did you smoke though?
Maybe 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's a long fucking time.
And you?
But I wasn't. I didn't smoke. I didn't smoke like a pack a day. I never smoked more than 10 or 12 cigarettes a day. But still, when I
God.
quit,
Wait,
no,
wait.
I didn't.
You didn't smoke more than that?
I
Isn't
would
that how many's in a pack?
No,
No,
20.
it's
20 in a pack.
Oh, my bad.
No, I was never a heavy smoker, but I did smoke every day. I just liked it, and I would smoke on the weekends when I drank. But quitting was hard. Yeah, it was a
How
hard
long did
one.
you smoke, Marn?
The first time for 11 years, and then the second time for 8 years.
Okay, Kat.
I smoked 18 years.
Wow.
At least a pack a day steadily.
That's a lot.
Wow.
At least a
Yeah.
pack a day.
Yeah, at least a pack a day. Sure.
Yeah.
Pack a day. is a lot.
Easily 2 when I was at work because you could still smoke in the bar.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
So I would sit up in that DJ booth and burn a pack
Well,
of cigarettes in 5 hours
absolutely.
easily.
Yeah.
Sure.
And keep in mind, Clayton, when you're talking about never having had that problem, right?
I have a lot of other problems.
No, right. But by choice.
That makes up for
Oh,
it.
we
By
know.
choice. And
we
it,
know.
it goes out to anyone who is listening or at some point may listen. You poor dears.
Yeah.
But that's something that, like Aaron has talked about it multiple times. Yes, Aaron smoked, and yes, Aaron has had Ernie for those
other
listening,
listeners.
but when she had her back surgery, she got hooked on Percocet.
Oh.
Like legitimately hooked on
I
Percocet.
used to take oxycodone
There you go.
when I was recovering
Sure,
from the bone marrow
of course,
transplant.
Of course.
So I had to have it, and man, I will tell you this.
Aaron said she's just blessed for the people around her because
I understand why it's really appealing because you do feel amazing when you're high on opiates. It is the most like
Until you're dead.
euphoric
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
And they had to wean me off the pills when I got back home, and I was like just taking one at night to just get
Sure.
me through the
Sure.
early evening because I was
Sure.
like, I need my pill. And when they were like, okay, now you're done,
Yeah.
and it was interesting because there were other people who were like taking 10 a day,
Yeah.
and I was
Yep.
only taking my one, but it would last a good 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I liked that feeling. I was hooked, even though it was small. And I remember even when they cut me off,
Yeah.
it was only about 4 or 5 days, but I was like, I want my fucking pill.
Right. Right.
And they were like, and,
And
then
it doesn't
they
matter
even
if it's 1 or 15.
no, exactly.
You're like,
Because
you're jonesing and that's all you're thinking
I knew
about.
about the 15 people, and
Yeah.
I thought with my one, I'll be
Drug
okay.
addict.
I was irritable,
Sure.
and I went in, and the nurse told me, she was like, you're going to be crabby for about a week, and we're not giving you any pills. So throw your fit, do whatever.
Right, right.
You're not getting any.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
oh.
how many people then go out?
Right. But I do get
And
the
find it
feeling.
elsewhere. Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I did. It was nice to be high on that shit.
Yeah,
It
and that's
really
what
was.
Aaron will say.
Oh,
Her
sorry.
eyes get a little goofy if I may, because when she starts talking about it or really
It's called
thinking
euphoric
about it.
recall.
Okay.
You get it. You
Sure.
recall it, and you think you remember
You're
the
like, oh,
euphoria.
I remember,
Yeah,
sure.
I
Yeah.
still do.
In like 96, 97, when I was still working corporate way back, I had to have my wisdom teeth cut out. And I
That's-
went
yeah.
and I had it done, and they gave me a Percocet prescription.
Yep.
And it was like I had it done on a Friday morning, and I was, I went back to work on Monday, and they gave me the Percocets. And I remember I lived in an apartment on, over there, and it was taken for pain, and I just took them as it was listed on the thing. Prescribed. I took them. I slept the whole weekend. I got up and I went to work Monday, and
And
I
you
was
were fine.
And the prescription was gone. I never asked about it again.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Thank God,
But
yep.
I do recall. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a high.
For that
like
3
you
days,
can't
I
believe. yeah.
slept and I didn't give a shit.
No, you don't.
Right. And the thing is,
So-
it doesn't
yeah.
I
take
also
away
had-
your pain.
I also
it
had a
does not take away your pain.
I also had a
It just
water
fucks you up
bed.
here.
Yeah.
I had a water bed, and it was summer, and the air
Oh,
conditioning
there
was
you
really
go.
cold.
Yeah.
It was a lovely
you were
3
on the
days.
beach.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
Now
you
we're
know
all
what's
having
funny?
euphoric
know.
recall.
But you know what's funny is because I didn't really understand. I just thought it was a pain medication. I didn't think about anything else. I didn't even realize Percocet was part of that family until
Yeah.
you said it just now.
Oh, it is.
Right.
I didn't even realize
It's
that.
an
Right.
opiate.
And the fact that you can go, oh,
Opioid.
absolutely, right. And the fact that you can go and get to make it look legitimate, and
Yeah.
you're mixing the stuff so you have the same size pill, you have the
Same color,
stamp,
the stamp, right?
and it's the stamp. Think about it. And have you guys ever found a pill and you're like, oh, I wonder what that is?
Oh, and you just
Yeah.
Go to the pill
online.
finder and
look it up,
Absolutely.
and be like,
Crazy.
oh, that's no problem. And well, now you're dead because, and I had to look at Aaron.
Damn it,
I
now you're
had
dead.
Now
Aaron-
you're dead.
Well, but I looked at Aaron last night and I'm
took a
like, I
turn.
need you to fucking promise me. And it was about anxiety because now that's the Percocet
stirs you
thing
back
is
up.
still there, still there, and always will be. But the Xanax, when they did that story about that guy, young guy with just taking a quarter of
Yeah.
that
Wow.
and it killing him.
Yeah.
That's where I just turned around. I was like, pause.
Yeah.
Don't.
No thanks.
No black
Like,
market
no.
pills
No.
for you.
Yeah, well,
Ernie.
Right.
because
It's
how
all
many-
about getting them from a legitimate.
But if she
Yeah.
goes to if I have a script for it, right, that's one thing. But if you go to a friend.
Like you do.
Like, I mean, if I go to Kat, right?
Because I got
don't
lots
know-
of Percocet.
No,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. Like if
Dealer.
it's about
Dealer.
Xanax, and
What else
and
you want?
you've got, you know, it's so easy to have been like, you know, you're at the bar and you're like, I got kind of, and so somebody gave me a Xanax,
Like you do.
right? I mean,
And
easily
that's-
this happens.
Right.
Was it
happens.
still me?
No, well,
Oh.
it can be. This can be. Yep.
All right.
And
Hypothetical.
and then
Hypothetical.
and then I look over, and I'm in a place, and I'm like, God, if I know Xanax has worked in the past. Like if I
Yeah.
just had a Xanax right now, I know that I could like, oh, well, I have one.
Mommy just needs a little Xanax.
Right?
But you don't know where it came from, and
I have
that
no
is-
idea, and
right.
Kat has no idea, and she's not trying to kill me. Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, you don't know.
Maybe. Allegedly.
You know what I'm saying though? Like we don't have any idea.
Yeah.
Kat's not trying to do something harmful.
Maybe I
Right.
am. Maybe I'm not.
And again, right?
And
But-
maybe out of the two that she was given by another friend,
Right.
the one was good. The second one is the bad one,
exactly.
unbeknownst to
Oh my
her.
gosh,
Yeah.
now I'm giving away secondhand
I
drugs.
know,
Well, you
right?
never know.
But and
Never
I don't
know.
and I apologize for bringing that down. But just going with because I remember thinking yesterday, like, oh, Al is gonna love that fucking story, and wondering if he had watched it. And so anyway, my apologies to everyone for
Oh,
going off
no.
on that. But it really was one of the most
No, it's important for a lot of people to hear.
amazing things that I've ever seen. Just do not. I feel like Nancy Reagan. Just say no.
Listen, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Well, fortunately, all I'm
Yes,
on
Mommy.
is blood pressure
Yeah.
medication, and I get
Yes.
that from Walgreens, and
Yeah.
I feel pretty
Okay.
safe with that.
I
Yeah,
think you're safe.
absolutely.
Good for you.
There we go.
Thank God.
Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of frazzle, two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing.
Like Kat Carlson.
Well, if you thought that last segment was a downer, wait till you get
Have I got a pill for you?
Wow.
You're such a pill.
Coming out of Stafford, Virginia, an alarming day for a young transgender girl after she was barred from using both the boys' and the girls' locker room.
Oh, wow.
Which, you know, sad. But during a safety drill,
Oh.
the school was doing an active shooter drill. And instead of sheltering her with the rest of the children, she was forced to sit alone on the bleachers and then in the hall while everyone else in her physical education class took shelter in the locker rooms.
How old is she?
Middle school, so 13.
Wow.
Yeah, teachers were apparently debating on which locker room would be appropriate for her. The her is the clue
Yeah,
there.
the one she self-identifies
Well, that
as.
and who gives a
Dumbass.
fuck? There's somebody shooting.
Right.
Send them
Yes.
into
Right.
protective
Yes.
a
Right.
room. Anybody, I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
A custodial closet. I don't give
Yeah,
a shit where they're
right.
going.
Oh my god.
Luckily, keep in mind whenever you read the news that the world is full of good people, and so concerned parents and friends
Not
and
them.
neighbors are planning to protest at the board meeting. Yeah, school spokesperson Sherry Johnson put out a statement that said Stafford County Public Schools does not comment on individual student incidents to avoid divulging confidential information.
About whether she's a boy or a girl?
Right.
Right.
However, she is the key
Yeah,
word
it's
right
been
there.
a key,
Yep.
right,
Right.
the whole time.
Keep kind of going back to that.
Really, just
Yeah.
trust people when they tell
Just
you.
ask.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They'll let you know.
She'll let you know.
Even if you ask rudely, she'll let you know. Trust me,
Yeah.
she'll let you know. However, the new superintendent has requested a review of all protocols and procedures to ensure that all children are treated with dignity and respect.
What a novel fucking idea.
Right. There's an idea. Just when we thought we solved
Wow.
gay rights. We solved feminism last week.
Yes, we did.
Or 2
We
weeks
sure
ago.
2 weeks ago,
did,
we
yes.
did.
We sure did.
But no, we haven't solved gay rights. Not at all.
Just humanity. Like the... I don't know.
Yeah. In fact, we're still fighting in court about whether or not gays are protected citizens.
Yeah.
Under non-discrimination acts.
Employment.
Just
all
this
that kind of fun
Monday, the
stuff.
Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers Connecticut, New York, and Vermont, reversed a previous panel decision and concluded in a 10-3 opinion that discriminating against a person on the basis of sexual orientation is a type of sex-based discrimination forbidden under federal law. We're still talking about that?
Still talking about that.
Still talking about that.
Wow.
Of course, people that don't want everyone to be equal will argue that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 does not mention sexual orientation. So if it doesn't mention it,
Yeah, we
not
can't
protected.
possibly put that in there.
Duh.
It's like a
Yeah.
VIP at the club. You're not a...
Nope, you're not
Sorry,
on the list.
guys. You're not on the list.
Nope.
Not on the list.
Go to the back.
Oh, my goodness. And that's not the only one. So there are... this next session of the Supreme Court starts on... or began on October 1st.
Oh,
yesterday.
the Supreme Court with that guy.
Last week.
Yeah.
That guy, right.
Started Monday, right?
No, October
Yesterday.
1st. The Supreme Court's new term began October 1st.
Was. Oh, I'm sorry. A week ago.
Oh,
my
okay.
bad. My bad. A week ago. It was
Today's the ninth,
Still a Monday, but a week ago Monday.
Today's the ninth.
Got it. Finger on the pulse.
Now, as of the writing of this particular article, which was dated today, so allegedly it's current, justices have not yet accepted any cases squarely addressing LGBTQIA elemental P rights. There's a lot of us.
It's a lot.
There's
It's
a lot of us.
That's true.
However, numerous appeals raising key issues for our community are waiting in the wings. There are currently 4 petitions now pending before the court asking it to decide whether federal sex discrimination laws encompass discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity, like the second appeals court that we just talked about. Its ruling could determine whether LGBTQ people are protected at all.
Yep.
Yeah, Supreme Court has that power. 2 cases challenging the president's attempt to ban transgender people from the military are at the Federal Court of Appeals, one step away from the Supreme Court. Several cases already on appeal could, again, apply to the court as to whether there are circumstances in which businesses have a constitutional right to discriminate. Yeah. Jesus says, I hate gays, so fuck you, you're out.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
We're ending on a high note.
Your unprovable Sky Father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't prove him, but by God, he's gonna dictate shit.
So, accordingly, it could be a big year for LGBTQ Americans in the highest court of the land, but it might not be. The Supreme Court doesn't have to consider any of these cases. Out of approximately 7,000 requests that the court receives, they only agree to hear about 80. So less than 1, or slightly more than 1%.
Right.
So news to watch, but we solved feminism. That was good. Now we got to solve gay
I know
rights.
Doug listens to MSNBC about as much as I do. What they've been talking about with regards to what's his name being put on there as the 9th, rounding out the 9.
Bart O'Kavanaugh.
Yeah. So
Ralph Club president.
One of the things that they were talking about is they've been asking, well, what are they going to be taking on? What are they going to be hearing? And one of the things was they're really hitting some low softballs at the first part of this to get through some things that aren't really crucial. And based on, is it Roberts now? Is it Roberts who's the chief? Right.
Yeah.
So now that's like, there's a very good chance that he's going to deflect a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So that they don't have to get in the
In the
mud
mix of it.
in the mix of this, because then they can just sort of skate past this, still deal with what they've got to deal with, but some of it he can reject listening to because it's like, we'll let you all figure this out.
Right.
I think that it's called the rule of 4 is when when the potential cases come up, 4 of them have to agree to hear.
Oh, to take it on?
Yeah, it's this weird thing.
I hadn't heard that.
I know, it's called the rule of 4. So it's worse when there's more conservatives because the 4 could be 4 of the 5 conservatives.
Right.
But that's another thing that plays into that is they could just he especially because his name will go on all of those things. Roberts for 30 years. So they were saying the one little maybe ray of hope in this disaster is that he doesn't he's going to be careful because he doesn't want 5-4 decisions on landmark things.
Right.
So so they're hoping that even if there is something that could be a 5-4, he may do like he did on the one case that now I forget what it was. Where he went with Obama. Went with Obama, so it would be 6-3, as he doesn't want those. So they're hoping he'll be the.
It was Affordable Care Act, wasn't it?
I think that. Thank you. That was
Okay.
exact. Thank you.
The knower of things.
He went
Cat
6-3 in the other direction because he didn't want a 5-4. So the whole thing, like Rachel Maddow was saying, within 12 months she predicted Roe v. Wade could be gone,
Yeah.
and they're saying, Roberts is not going to do that. It's the
I don't think
thought
he'll let that-
process.
I don't
He's
think he'll let
not
it
going to
be
let
brought.
that happen. So if it was a 5-4, he'll go the other way and try to convince someone to go with him. So I'd still a disaster, but yeah, it's interesting though. They
So
may
I
try
have
to
a
stay out
silly
of the
question.
controversy.
Sure.
If it goes away, hypothetically,
It what?
Roe v. Wade.
Sure.
I didn't really want to say that, so I almost threw up
'Kay.
while saying it. It goes away. Can it then come back?
Well, it just goes back
Yes.
to the states.
So
Right. No, I don't. So I mean, it's not a.
There'd be a state thing,
right. So
Yeah,
what
okay.
what happens is
and then someone sues.
Yeah, right.
the precedent of Roe v. Wade, wasn't it an equal protections ruling?
Mhm.
Isn't that what that was?
Privacy.
Right. So it basically said that everyone has the right to this medical care and abortions and whatever. So if that precedent is overturned, then there are what are called trigger laws in, I think it's 15 states, which automatically, should anything happen to overturn that federal statute, then abortion would become illegal in those states that minute, that fast. So then you're in a situation. Then you're almost back to Dirty Dancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the Catskills,
The best dancing movie about abortion ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
As Al refers to it.
of all the
Yeah.
musicals about abortion,
That's the best.
Top.
Dirty Dancing is
Tops.
the best
Yeah.
one.
That is top
That one
notch.
is tits, let me tell you.
Yeah. Totally.
But no, so if you're in the Catskills, you're guy with a folding table and a dirty knife. I swear I tried to get in there. I swear I could hear her screaming. Word for word, that fucking movie.
Now
Beginning to end. I can do the dance too.
I like it. Yes, I've seen that.
I know.
Actually.
And anyway, so if you're in the Catskills, you're stuck with the guy with the folding table and the dirty knife. But if you live in California, odds are you can still receive the care that you need. So then it even further burdens people that are already financially, socioeconomically, or geographically burdened.
And they're all
find
going to be
healthcare.
dying, or it's going to be a
Right.
hell of a lot
But
more
Texas has proved it can be
expensive.
burdened now, even with it being legal,
Sure,
because they
sure.
closed all the.
Because they've closed all
There's
the
like
abortion
one
clinics
place you can
'cause
get an
none of
abortion in
them were
Mississippi.
Or
hospitals.
they just made all the rules so ridiculous that
Yeah.
Right.
And there are cases that are arguing against that too, that will probably never receive, get to the Supreme Court. But yes, if something landmark comes up and they overturn Roe v. Wade, X amount of states, I don't remember how many it is, but it's quite a few. Instantly abortion's illegal. Instantly women start dying to try and get the care that they need.
Literally.
Or they have to
literally
travel
dying.
hundreds and hundreds of miles to get.
Which they can't do.
Which they can't.
Yeah.
So they'll get back alley abortions and die.
They can't? Is that what you're saying?
They can't afford to.
I'm sorry,
afford
if
to.
you're living
Right.
in bumfuck Iowa and you
Yeah.
don't have a car, if you're
Yeah.
Jenna in fucking Waitress,
Right.
Yeah.
you cannot travel to get
Sure.
I know,
to get the care that you
I'm
need.
not questioning. I just I misheard what she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I get what you're saying.
My
But-
mom,
but the- but
and I'm sure
if
your
you-
mom does too. She told that mom talked about it, like remembers that.
Sure.
that era, right?
I mean, just
Staggering.
And the
remembers
lengths that women would go to
Yes.
to avoid an unwanted pregnancy is just frightening. Yeah.
And it's
So
oh
hopefully
my
that
God,
won't be
yeah.
happening. They may not even hear a case like that because they get to decide. what
Well,
they
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
the way
Because they
I
may just,
the way I
They
keep-
just
hot
stay
coffee.
away.
the way I
yeah.
keep seeing it is as many affairs as the Republicans keep having, they
Yeah.
keep requesting abortions right and left. So
Right.
some of them are going to want to protect this. I think. Just
Yeah, but that's the problem, is that it comes down to the money, right?
Right, because they
So
will have the
they will
means
be
that they
able
will
to
know a
hit-
guy.
Right.
Sure,
Rich
no, no,
people
right.
can always get
Yes.
things done.
sure.
Yes, absolutely.
White rich
Right.
people.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the part that just kind of like
yes, white rich
Yeah.
people.
As
mean-
4 white people sit in this room
Yeah.
and talk
Right.
about this, but
As-
it's sadly
We're woke
it's true.
though.
No,
As a
but,
white
yeah.
woman at the head of an empire,
Yes.
Yes.
I can't afford to drive 2 states away to get
Who also
healthcare.
has
No.
who also has no chance in hell of getting pregnant.
Well, pretty small.
Yeah.
Pretty small.
But you're right. What?
But not zero.
Yeah,
What?
but not zero.
Not zero.
But it's
And-
pretty low.
But you know when you but
It is pretty low.
But when you paint those pictures, like
Yeah.
what's an 18-year-old black girl in Mississippi who was raped with
By
no
her
money
uncle who won't
by
let
her
her leave
uncle
the house.
with
Right.
no
Right.
money? How is she gonna get on a bus and go 900 miles and find $500 to get an abortion?
She's not
Or
gonna.
what, I don't even
No.
know what they cost,
Right.
but something like
Right.
that. So it drives me.
Well,
Okay,
and then
we have to.
somebody
We
in
have to
Texas
change the
will
subject.
find her and stop her.
Yeah,
And they'll
Oh,
make her
yeah.
carry it to term.
Exactly. So we have to change the subject.
Yeah, because
'Cause
they
I
care
can't
about
right
the
now.
baby.
Right. We only care about the babies when they're
Okay.
in there. But once they're out, they're on their own.
Bootstraps, bitches.
They're on
That's
their own.
right. That's right.
Get your
Doug,
bootstraps.
do you think you came up with something or no?
This is when you ask us about something about us.
Well, hang on a minute. Here we go.
Okay, I'll do it.
And now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? Good luck.
So
Oh my gosh, what could be in store for us?
I'm nervous.
I'm excited.
So the
haven't
segue
tackled
from the
any
last thing. So
issues.
big issues, and we're not really going to.
Okay.
Because
That's fine.
against the backdrop of across the country of the whole Kavanaugh thing, and I got to, if you indulge me quickly, there was the day of the testimony, that Thursday.
I
What are
couldn't
the
watch.
what I know? What are the chances in a million that in my Violence in America class, it's a survey class, each chapter is a different thing, that the lecture that landed that day for chapter 6 was rape and sexual assault?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I was like, and so they came walking in, are we going to watch it on TV? No. I'm like, no, we're going to have a lecture. It kind of fell apart. I didn't want to go into that. But because, and what I noticed is because it was against the backdrop of everything. So people
Right.
were wound up.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
we've all been going through that. We just had our abortion thing. So in lieu of all of that, what I would like to know from all of you is all of that experience that we're having nationwide, what still gives you hope? So I'm going to end on a hopeful note. What still gives you hope right now in this moment moving forward? Meaning about hope about where we are in the country. What's a hopeful thing
Well, I've
that you're
always
holding on
counted
to?
on the kindness of strangers.
All right. So does it go this way?
No,
or?
we start with
Oh,
Marnie.
we'll go with
Yeah, we
Marnie.
always start with
Okay.
Marnie.
I
And
just
then it
gave
comes
you my
about.
answer.
Then it comes
Okay.
around back to you.
Oh, okay.
You know, I did that obviously to be an ass, but truthfully, I think I think that we still all, whether it be in this room or just the goodness in people, hold that hope. That I don't want to become that down about it or that dark about it. I look at it and I look up and I keep thinking, come on, this base needs to wake up and go, for real? This is the guy we've been following? Because it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
A terrifying joke, but a joke, you know, because
Yeah.
he's so stupid. But then you see and hear stories of the goodness in people. And I think that at some point, no matter what happens otherwise, that it'll be like one of your fucking Walking Dead shit that you watch or whatever it is, that the good people will just kind of go and find each other. Demolition Man, the movie Demolition Man, we'll all go into the sewer, right? And Taco Bell will become like the big time restaurant. Like,
Why is it always fast food in the sewer?
Yeah.
I don't
Taco
know.
Bell,
I know,
the
right?
turtles ate a lot of pizza.
Right, see? But I
There's-
really
there's
do.
no
That's
vegetables
what
down
I'm
there?
holding out hope in, is all of us.
So people will
just
finally.
and even
respond.
if it isn't that base, but just that, and all of the people that have been so apathetic will finally go, it does count.
Yeah.
What we have to say does count.
Yeah.
And that will be eye-opening. Now, is that November 6th or is that 2025? I don't fucking know.
Right.
But
in the future.
But yeah, at some point, people are going to wake up, and it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, because I think that's what has been thrown literally like just a pile of shit against a wall. Like, there isn't necessarily Democrat and Republican.
Yeah.
Because they're calling themselves Republicans, right? This base and this asshole, and they're not really.
Yeah. It's the Trump wing that's taken over.
Right. And so I think Republicans, true
thank you,
Republicans,
Mama
are
Di.
looking up.
Women will save us.
Oh, I love it.
She stole my
If they
answer.
don't kill us.
Right. But
Yeah.
I do. I really just
Cool.
that's what I see
All right.
is the goodness in people.
Cat.
It's my hope.
T-shirts.
T-shirts will save us.
There you go.
And Cat
Yeah.
Carlson will make them.
That's right.
I don't
They
make
should
them.
be making them for the next protest in downtown
right.
Phoenix
Uh-huh.
for whatever the hell we're fighting against.
Oh,
right.
totally.
I like it.
Yeah, I gotta make some for that.
Right.
No, I like to believe that, I said it earlier, that there are way more good people.
Yeah.
They're just busy living their lives.
Sure.
As they should.
Exactly.
But other than that, I'm not full of hope right now.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll come back. Or it won't, and I'll just keep making T-shirts. Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard
Maybe I'll
to-
become,
it's
maybe
hard
I'll
to be
become the
hopeful right
Paradise
now.
Valley curmudgeon. Who
There you go.
knows?
There you go. All right. Well, we already have one in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So
Actually, it's
don't,
the
you know.
Paradise Valley pessimist. That's what you'd be. You have
Oh,
to
there
be
you go.
alliteration. You have to be the Paradise Valley pessimist.
I can't
like
be a
that.
curmudgeon.
The
Yeah.
PV pessimist.
Yeah, I like it.
Sounds like an STD. I
I
don't
don't
like
know.
PVP.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. I'm certainly not hopeless or without hope right now. I think one of the things that pulls me through, yes, as divided as so much of it is, and this may sound Pollyanna a little, but the funny thing is to me, like when I go to somebody's house and I hang a painting or I've installed a light or I've done something and I see, and I don't ask what their political persuasion. I don't ask any of that, but literally when I just see that they're happy with that, or I can make somebody, I can make something happy or make their life better, easier, whatever the hell it is. They're happier with their situation because I've installed or done something or whatever. I just look at that and I'm like, well, that's good. That's a positive thing, and it's like,
yeah,
it again.
Controlling what's around you.
I
and
don't
being
know
able
what
to-
their world is all about. I don't know what their political thing is, but I just look at all the other people that you interact with, and there's still plenty of room for happiness.
Right.
Yes.
Amidst all of this, even though it's a shit show in so many ways, but it's got a term limit. It's got a term limit, and it
that's where I'm going.
Worst case scenario, it could be 4 more years after this. I don't think we're going to have to go through that.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I was apparently
I
wrong
didn't think
in
we needed to go
2016.
through
Right.
this. Right. Yeah.
I think you're
agree.
onto something there.
Yep.
However, I would like to see, and I brought this up a few weeks. I don't recall if you were here or not, but I brought up the question of, and it's not necessarily term limits, though it is. Somebody made a post on Facebook with regards to all of these older white
83-year-old white
people
senators.
making laws that have really nothing to do with their lives.
Yeah.
They're going to check out. So if they're not going to retire, they're going to be checking out in the next few years because they're 85.
Yeah.
What laws and decisions they're making have absolutely nothing to do with their lives. So it seems like, wouldn't it make more sense to have
Mandatory retirement.
mandatory retirement?
Unless you're RBG.
You
Yeah,
can
exactly.
come in. No, unfortunately, you've got to take the good with the
I
bad.
know, you're right,
It's like
you're
doing.
right,
It's
yeah.
like doing.
They're all out by
it's like doing a
72,
DNA
yeah.
research on Ancestry.com.
Yep.
You've got to take the ugly with the good.
You're right. You're right.
RBG's great. Now, that's not to say she can't be a lobbyist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
She
right.
can do
or-
something else.
Or an advisor.
She can be effective somewhere else.
Right. She can be an advisor to
Yeah.
somebody, somebody's mentor.
Yeah, I like this
But-
idea.
But the idea of having somebody, and I don't know what the age is. But I'm thinking maybe
70?
I was thinking 65,
Okay.
maybe even 60. It seems to me that the only way a country is going to become more progressive is if you have progressive thinkers in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
This segues into. what
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
saying they're all right. I'm not saying every idea is a good idea, but again, somebody who's 30 making decisions or 40 making decisions on how
Is a
we
little
should
closer
go.
to the issue.
Right. That's
no matter what side of the aisle they're on, or how they think, but they're younger thinking.
They're gonna live with their decision or their family for let's say 40 years. Because let's say you know whatever the average age of death is for men and or women. I'm just gonna go in the 80s area. But it's like it seems to me that those are the people that should be making the decision. So they'll never go for it. I don't foresee that they'll ever go for it.
But we can make it happen.
Check out here's your window. You can check in at 25,
anytime you like,
25
but
or
you can
30.
never leave. No, is that the
Hotel California?
Oh, my bad.
No,
But it's right. President is 35, right? That's the minimum age.
Yeah.
But I would say, like senator, like all of these stuff, you got to start somewhere. Dog catcher, mine
like that
inspector.
fucking jowly.
You can start political office. I would even say from 18. Like you can start somewhere, but you can't get it. Like maybe Senate is cut off at 30, and then you go. But you got to check out.
I think it was Rebecca Winiger that made the post. She said something about why is there a minimum age and not a maximum age?
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
It's a good thought experiment.
But yeah, right. It is because again, these people are making choices that has nothing to do with their life.
But see, Paul Ryan's the exception to your rule. He's young and terrible.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
But,
I'm not saying they're all going to be winners.
Right.
Not at all.
It's
But
a good
there's
anyone
no
who's
reason
there-
Mitch McConnell should be in there
Mitt,
making
that
any
fucking jowly
decisions
son of a bitch, I
at
can't.
all.
Oh.
Or in Hatch. None of them.
When all of them and Charles Grassley, when they were in their 20s, thought at that time, right, that women should be the property of men.
Exactly.
Sure.
And now they're making decisions about women's lives. So no thanks,
and
I'm on board.
bodies,
And
their
the
bodies
unfortunate
like,
part of it is somebody like Joe Biden, he's gonna be out
Yeah,
too.
I can live with that.
But the advisor, like he could still be. He's
Absolutely.
a very nice
I
guy.
get
Did
it.
all that. I had forgotten that he was a very big part of the interviewing of Anita Hill back in the 90s because
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention back then.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
again, the people who are there that are again like the Obama, Mr. Obama, could be an advisor to somebody. Like the good ideas can still come from somewhere.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me that there needs to be some again.
I get
A
it.
line
There's no
needs to be drawn.
I'm 49,
Yeah.
and I'm like I don't think I need to be making decisions for 18-year-olds
Right.
in there because they've got a lot more life than I do.
Well, and I agree with what you're saying. And with the people then that are in there now, God forbid, but would they be literally and figuratively grandfathered? Like,
Maybe.
I mean, they don't have to be kicked out. It's a matter of now when.
Right. No,
there's
we
this
start out
flood.
and they run their course.
Yeah, you run your course.
But from there on,
right.
anybody who comes in now, or
From here to here.
you've got to you've got to draw a line somewhere, and it may not make everybody happy, but at some point you've got to be like, here's our new rule. If you're in now, fine, you can run your course, but if you're elected from this day forward, you've got a limit.
And if you're 63, then you
Right,
can
right.
go
It's like when they
until-
change any law.
You got a
It's
couple
just-
years.
You'll just have to deal with it.
Like, okay, so let's go to you.
Okay, so it's a good segue into what I'm thinking about when you said
We're
maybe
all about
not,
segues here on this show.
Maybe not this election cycle, but what I do think that's good that happened is it has woken up some people. So like women, and I think women are going to save us. I think women and young people and
Mama Bear's
progressives. So when you think of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and like her, many others like her, and there's something like 200 women now that are like running for office. But I saw this on Vice News and I liked it a lot. And not just them, but also young men too. They're calling them the extraordinary ordinary. And I'm all behind this idea.
Okay.
And what it is local people running for public office, and she famously said about the guy she was running against, it's my favorite thing that any politician has said in a very long time. What she said to the constituents, she said he doesn't drink the water we drink and he doesn't breathe the air we breathe. And that sold it home. And the black guy that's running somewhere else that I forget, he said, I want our elected officials to take the same bus to work as I do.
Is that
And
the Florida?
That's why I'm running.
Sure.
Is that
I
the
think
gentleman in Florida?
I think
that,
so.
Everyone's like, how the hell did he win?
Exactly. And so, meaning they'll relate better, right?
Right.
And I think it may take more than one election cycle, but I think that has woken those people up, and I think it's a way for us to tie this to not taking corporate money to run. So Beto O'Rourke is within a whisper of Ted Cruz in Texas.
And that's changed a
but
little
guess
bit now,
what?
but-
He has not. But that's
I'm just
not
saying.
my point. The point
Sorry.
is, He's not taking PAC money, and he's not taking corporate money, and he's not associating with the DNC, because the DNC is all about that corporate money. And so my thought process is that all the Democrats need candidates in general. We'll see if this happens. Need to go that direction.
Yeah.
So you're getting them. So it's a twofold thing. It's younger. It's more regular people. It's more progressive, and they're not doing the corporate money. So they'll separate themselves from the Republicans. Right now, you can't, because so people can throw this easy stone. Well, they all take corporate money. It's all. Well, then don't stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
Bernie Sanders very nearly became right. So when people go, oh well, that's crazy. No, it isn't. Bernie Sanders ran on only small donations, and Beto O'Rourke is doing it right now. So that dream just died. I'm not listening to that shit anymore. It's not true. But it's going to take the Clinton side, the people that love her, to get away from the DNC, and I think that'll be a challenge. But I think these people are going to save us. It's going to be driven by women, because women always have to solve everything.
That's
and
right.
That's where we are. And that's a good thing, I think. But I think it's going to pull the younger generation, who tend to be a little more egalitarian anyway. So well, that gives me hope. I think
that's good.
It has woken some people. Wait, is that the right? Woken? Is that the right word?
Awakened.
Awakened. There we
right.
go. Some people up, and I am encouraged by that.
Yeah.
But
good.
And
I hope so, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a little shred here,
gotta
Kat.
find something,
And
man.
to go,
keep us going.
if I may,
Gotta
with
keep us
what
hope.
you're saying about women and what Mama Di has up there.
Yeah.
I think that there is one woman who has stood out.
Well, let her in.
For me, well, I'm about to.
Oh.
She here now?
Lisa Murkowski.
My God, is she
Yeah,
here now?
she's the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Lisa Murkowski is, and you saying that
Yeah.
made me think of that, because one of the things, she was the only GOP senator to vote against Kavanaugh.
Yep.
And in Alaska, her state has the highest rate of sexual assault.
Yep.
Right? So 1 out of 3 women.
That hit home.
Oh my God. And
She was going to have to face them.
There was something about, and I'm
Well,
trying to find it about her. It had to do with her mom. And
that I hadn't heard.
Yeah, and what I understood was that her mom had been sexually assaulted.
Okay.
And so she was trying to come to grips with whether, people were saying, well, his wife hasn't, and so-and-so's wife, and so-and-so. And she was like, you throw out all the names you want, and I'm happy that nothing has happened to them. But it happened to my mom. And it stayed with my mom, right? And she just kind of went from there, and she said, I couldn't. There was no way for me to be able to do this. And that doing what is right. And that going with, not whether it's not taking PAC money or not doing this, and voting with your conscience to say, no, I can't. Here is why.
Meow cow. No. We woke as fuck, Dow.
That's right. You are right. Thank you.
Well played.
Well, Murkowski also had, it was part of Kavanaugh's thing about indigenous people, which is where Hirona from Hawaii was talking about.
I love her, by the way.
And used that against
She's another
Murkowski
one,
because of the indigenous people of Alaska. That also, and Murkowski was a write-in winner. She wasn't on the ballot.
She's done it
She
before.
was a
primaried out by
She got
her party.
primaried and then went, watch this.
Yeah, and was written in and won.
I love that story.
I have to tell you, I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to have to read
and
about
that tells me she knew her constituency, that she knew that she could even do that and not get laughed out of the process.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they really like that.
Yeah.
And I love that.
She gets the hero award on this one.
And I love that fucking idiot Palin tweeted.
What did she say?
I can't.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I did not.
What did that?
So Murkowski voted against him, and Palin says, I can see it. What is it she said? I can see 2020 from my house.
Oh, no. What a bitch.
Bring it, bitch.
Oh,
You're having
my
trouble keeping your
God.
kids from getting
Wait a
arrested and
minute.
knocked up.
I can see 20.
Appreciate this for a minute,
because
though.
she can see Russia
Appreciate
from
this
her
for
house.
a minute. That's
Like she's going to run against her.
she's a horrible person, but
Oh, right.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant and genius. Good for her.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I get the humor in it, but still, like, really, Palin, just calm down.
Yeah.
You
well,
can't.
it also kind of goes to this
It also
weird.
means
I
she's
can
gonna
see
run it,
Russia
she's gonna run.
from my house.
Can you
And Russia
imagine?
runs the elections. That's what I see. She's a cunt.
Yeah, no.
So where it is,
Tomatoes.
With tomatoes.
Potatoes.
Sorry, I was trying to find the thing about her mom and what she had said.
We
just
believe
the,
you.
The little.
We believe.
No,
you.
it was a really great quote that she had, and I just wanted to find it, but I can't. So.
We could bring it up next week, but there was a story that I saw briefly online. I don't know if anybody else saw it. A mother somewhere had posted a picture of her son
I almost did that story.
graduating, and the summary of the story was basically the mother had done the post of her son who had graduated from
The
some
Naval Academy,
Was
I
it Naval
think.
Academy?
Oh, I saw this
saying
today.
that he was #1 in his class and he was this that. Well, she wrapped the whole thing up with hashtag him too. And he reposted,
and he said, and
he's
saying
like,
that he would not date girls. And,
yeah, he wouldn't date girls, and he would do this.
Because of these feminist liars.
She went through this whole thing, and he came out and posted like, "Oh no, don't associate me with that mom," and did his own post about it.
And said sometimes people we love do really stupid things that hurt us. Meaning his mother.
Slamming his mother online about this. I thought it was interesting that
The
he
post said,
Go
"This
ahead.
is my son. He graduated #1 in boot camp. He was awarded the USO award. He was #1 in A school. He's a gentleman who respects women. He won't go on solo dates in the current climate of false sexual accusations by racist feminists, or radical feminists, I'm sorry, with an axe to grind. I vote. Hashtag him too."
So his response.
She has since deleted her entire
Oh, she.
account.
Because
her
they,
whole account.
Because they came after her.
Well,
Yeah.
because they came for her, right?
Do you have his response?
Now
It's
what
so
is
good.
hang on, now what is hashtag him too? It has become a way for people, often conservatives, to express their support for men who they believe have been falsely accused of sexual assault or
And-
harassment.
Oh my god.
Parenthetically, false reports of sexual assault are rare.
Between 2
Rare.
and 6%.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Because you know how miserable it is to report that
It's
kind of shit?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
imagine going
ridiculous.
through that on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to be some kind of psychotic
Yeah,
to go
you
through
really
that
do.
on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like choosing to be gay.
Right.
Why would you go through this
Yeah.
much of
Very
pressure?
Very
Exactly.
similar to All Lives Matter.
Right.
Or Blue Lives Matter.
All bullshit.
Him Too developed as a backlash to the Me Too movement, in which women across politics, entertainment, and business have come forward with their experiences of sexual misconduct and brought powerful men to account. Not enough of them, I say, but you gotta start somewhere. Him Too was energized in particular by Kavanaugh and all that whole business. Mr. Hansen, the boy in the picture, nope, I'm sorry, that wasn't the boy in the picture. I lied. I assumed. He's a Navy veteran, it says. Had never heard of the hashtag before his phone started going off as he took a marketing exam at the University of Central Florida. He hurriedly completed the test and stepped outside. He said, "I was worried something serious was happening." Oh, no, it was him. But it was just his friend sending him his mother's tweet.
Wow.
Hashtag mom's lost her mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Mom, get off Twitter.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And to use your son like that and lie.
Well, just, it's gross.
And his response is great.
Super
He
gross.
said, I that's not true. Like what she said isn't true. He said, I'm a cat dad, a supporter of women. And he was like, and he said Twitter response people, you're on point. Like, cause they did some really funny things. Like, this is my son. And they were putting like Guy Fieri.
Oh,
and they're
my
like,
gosh. Yeah,
it's
no, those-
hysterical.
Those are super funny.
Yeah.
That one says, "This is my son. He graduated #1 from the University of Flavortown.
Oh my
He was
God.
awarded 3 banging fajita poppers. He was #1 in Flamin' Hot Crunch. He won't go on solo dates due to the current climate of false accusations of taking the last slice of pizza.
Oh, God.
I vote hashtag him too."
Oh.
Wow.
Twitter's funny.
It is. I'm going to have to look that up.
Mom, get off Twitter.
Seriously.
Some people need to get off Twitter.
Oh my god.
Oh my heavens.
Wow.
Well, thank you all. We did it. Another
We did it.
show in the bag. Now next week, you'll be back with us, Doug.
I will
Very
be.
busy.
The whole cast will be here.
We'll
All
all
5
be
of us
here.
will be here sipping champagne. So it's going to be a bubbly, fun show.
It is.
Celebrating our 300th episode, which actually is tonight, but we're going to celebrate it next week because Al will be back. So we encourage you all to set your timers, your DVRs, wake the kids, phone the neighbors, and let them know
Take
that we're
your
going to be on.
depression medication before.
And get your Xanax from a qualified pharmacist.
qualified
That was what we would
pharmacist.
suggest.
That's right. Yes, please.
My heaven sakes
My
alive.
goodness.
Very busy.
Yes.
Well, thanks everybody in the chat room for
Thank
joining us
you.
all evening, as you always do. And as we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
We out.
We out.
We out.